much better than this. Week 3 in the CFL kicks off with a heavyweight matchup as a battle of the unbeatens go head-to-head in Winnipeg. The Blue Bombers welcome the Lions to a hostile IG field on Thursday Night Football.
What Zach Collaros has done since strapping on that Blue Bomber helmet has been amazing. He and the Bombers have pretty much dominated the league from top to bottom, but these BC Lions are confident they'll be able to stun these Bombers tonight. Let's see what happens.
Vernon Adams is a West Coast guy, and he looks at home back on the West Coast, inheriting the torch from Nathan Rourke. The undefeated Bombers want to make a statement tonight in Winnipeg.
Dalton Schoen has targeted most targets in the CFL, most yards in the CFL. When Zach needs a first down, he's going to throw it to this guy. He's the guy who's going to make the plays to get the first downs for this football team.
So let's start with the bad news, shall we? No Dominique Rhymes for the Lions, but here's the good news. Look who's back. Lucky Whitehead returns after sitting out their home opener on Saturday. Lucky saying, quote, "I hate watching," looking for a monster performance tonight in a field he knows oh so well. And welcome to Thursday Night Football, brought to you by 7-Eleven, Dave Naylor, Paul Lapolise, Milt Stiegel. Lapo, welcome back in studio, my friend.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I love my daughter, guys, way more than any of you guys, especially you, Milt, right? But you don't want to talk football on Thursday night. You want to talk Roblox and all that stuff. Hi, Mallory. Yes, but let's talk some ball. There we go.
We'll get the gentleman's thoughts on the game in just a moment, but right now let us head to IG Field and we join our John Liu. And John, the big story has been Brady Oliveira. Will we see him on the field tonight? You've been following him all week. What is the latest?
Well, Kate, we haven't received official word on Brady Oliveira just yet. He's technically been a game-time decision for the past couple of days. However, he is taking part in the pregame warm-up, and with eyes on him, he looks like he is engaging in all his usual warm-up routines. He also did an early workout, which is also part of his regular game day routine. So he's looking like he is ready to go. We know that he wants to play after not practicing this week following a thorax injury, which he sustained last Friday in Saskatoon. Now, on the BC side, you already mentioned that Lucky Whitehead will be drawing back into the lineup. However, one playmaker comes back in, another one leaves, and that's a big loss for BC. Dominique Rhymes, their leading receiver, is out this week with a foot injury. He's expected to be back perhaps next week, and so there's a little bit of a balancing act for BC. But still, the stage is set for the top two offenses in the league to do battle tonight, led by two of the top quarterbacks in the league. Zach Collaros leading the CFL in passing yards, TDs, and QB rating in his 100th CFL start, going up against Vernon Adams Jr., who is top in the league in completion percentage. And the one little wild card, I guess you could say, they certainly feel like they want to prove something. The BC Lions defense coming off a shutout, their first for the club in 46 years. And so this should be a fascinating matchup tonight, Kate.
And I appreciate you, John, taking the note from me as we wore the exact same blazer on television today.
Yes.
You know, this is a fascinating matchup to say the least, and we almost said the exact same thing a year ago going into week 5 of the CFL season. Both of these teams were undefeated just like they are going into this game, and Zach Collaros ends up doing what he does best, absolutely dominated, and that kind of put us at ease of where the two teams sit. Milt, coming into this game, do you think we're going to have the same results?
It's going to be different because of Vernon Adams. This is a Vernon Adams we haven't seen in a while. Of course, he had the big year in 2019, hadn't done much, but I think he's playing better right now, and I know it's only 2 games than what we've ever seen Vernon Adams play. His confidence, his attitude, the fact that he's not just seeing that first read and taking off. He's actually going to his second and third read. This is a different Vernon Adams, and because of that, these BC Lions are a different team, and they have a good opportunity of winning this game.
Yeah, Milt, you know what I think is interesting? Last year, through 2 games, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers gave up a ton of yards, but not a lot of points scored. How I know that? I was going against them. We had a ton of yards, but we only had 1 touchdown. Flip that to this year. They've given up a lot of yards, but they've given up the most touchdowns in the CFL. They've given up 7 touchdowns in 2 games. So they've got to flip that switch and stop giving up the explosive plays that give the touchdowns. And the BC Lions have done the other way. They've given up only 1 touchdown all year, 1 touchdown and 134 yards passing on defense is outstanding. Dave.
Yeah, and that's one of the big matchups in this game. You've got the Bombers who are allowing 7.5 points a game, and the Lions, and then you've got the Bombers, the first time in their history, have opened the season with 40+ points in the first 2 weeks. But you know, the stat that jumps out at me on this, and this is why, Milt, if you're right that the Lions can win this game, it will be a statement because almost nobody goes into IG Field and wins. The Bombers, what, 29-4 with Zach Collaros at the court. I mean, those are Nick Saban, Alabama at home numbers, right? So, I mean, for them to go in here, and if they can actually turn the trick here, it's going to make a statement across the CFL, as good as Winnipeg has looked, especially the first 2 weeks of the season.
And something you mentioned was Winnipeg giving up some yards and some touchdowns. We saw what Trevor was able to do with Saskatchewan. They were fortunate enough that they had the great punt return, and of course Zach was able to outscore him. But will that happen again this week? Will be interesting because we know this BC Lions defense is pretty good.
But what I think BC can't look at Trevor's stats. They have to think about their game. Their game is the short, controlled passing game. 75% completion for Vernon on the year. He's done, like you said, he's done a great job with his checkdowns. They got to move the ball down the field and not get the big plays until they actually show up.
A couple starters out for Winnipeg on defense, right? Jackson Jeffcoat, Demario Houston out of the secondary. Those could provide opportunities for the Lions tonight.
All right, coming up after the break, we're going to chat more about this Lions defense because they have been sensational to start the season. We'll give them a little more love, and our Aaron Korolnik opens up the old prop shop as he gives us his best picks for tonight's game. Here's your FanDuel 5, the 5 most staked anytime touchdown props for tonight's Lions Blue Bombers showdown. Interesting that 4 of the 5 players on the list are Lions. Running back Taquan Mizell has the shortest odds of any BC player at -105. Dalton Schoen -175 to find the end zone for the 2nd straight week for Winnipeg. By the way, breaking news, Brady Oliveira officially in tonight's game, so that makes things a little more interesting as well. Time for your anytime touchdown scorer, Dave Naylor.
Look, I'm going to go with Dalton Schoen. He led the league in touchdowns last year. He scored a touchdown. He's already hit the end zone. I mean, sometimes the obvious is the way to go. Dalton Schoen.
Obviously, no. Nick Dembski, he may run it in, he may pass it in. Like Zach has just had a great feel for that guy. The corner routes, however he gets him the football, the little shovel pass, somehow, some way, Nick Dembski will be the touchdown.
One of the fastest guys in the league is back on the field, Mr. Whitehead, and he's going against a cornerback in his first game off the PR from Colgate. And how could you not bet with a guy named Lucky? There's no way. Lucky Whitehead.
Coach, I thought you were going to go off the board on this one.
Yeah, you know, like Terry Williams, I love.
Okay.
Terry Williams, you know, he's
could have gone Janarian Grant.
Yeah, Janarian Grant's
that was a good one.
That would have been a
Here's
good
the thing. You know what, Coach? I'm going to let you have my say now on anytime touchdown because I have been absolutely terrible at this all season long. You know what? Everyone hasn't been great. Let's just say that. I took Mizell as well, so let's see if we can win it tonight. Ches, oh, nice. I was in with Ches, too, so we know that he's got the hot hand with this. Lucky, Rasheed Bailey, and as mentioned with AK, it will be Dalton Schoen.
The blitz coming, and they have Cornelius taken down. BC's defense has some bite now. The ball comes out, and the Lions have it. And the misery continues for that Edmonton offense.
Shutouts don't happen very often in this game.
The first BC Lions shutout since 1977.
I didn't think it could happen in the CFL with so many ways you can score. But for us to do that, it's a testament of the work we put in all week.
Only Only giving up 7.5 points per game so far this season. Matthew Betts and the Lions D in for their toughest test tonight against the Bombers, who have scored a combined 87 points so far this season. With more, Matt Dunnigan.
Hey, Kate, I tell you, boy, it's a head shaker. 46 years without a goose egg, then they do it, and it looked like they've been doing it all their lives. But I tell you, it's based on a couple of things. It's based on technique, want to, and just getting it done. And we're going to take a look at Ben Laddick, middle linebacker, third-year player from UBC, and how he scrapes. Edmonton's going to pull the right tackle on their center. He's going to read this. Not a problem for him. He's just going to outflank the tackle, cross his face, and meet Kevin Brown, one of the most elusive runners in the league, in the backfield for a tackle for no gain. Here, second forever, they're going to rush three. What's Edmonton to do? Good play call. Screen, get 5 guys out in front, get it to Dylan Mitchell. Watch Bolacumbo. He attacks hard, pad leverage, keeps leverage, and pushes it back to the inside for the posse, and they get basically no gain. And here, this is just want to and desire by Sione Teheme, and he let his teammates scrape across their face and blockers and get the job done. To a man, they are bought in to what Ryan Phillips has asked them to do, and they're doing extremely well. And you got to give credit, too, to Travis Brown, the linebackers coach, and John Bowman, the newest Canadian Football League Hall of Famer going to the Hall this year. These guys are communicating with their players on technique, desire, pad level, and they're getting the job done, Kate.
Well, they certainly are, Matt, as we take a look at some of the stats from the BC Lions so far this season. Not a bad way to begin. Points allowed first, net offense first, opponent pass yards first, opponent average pass first. One of 3 teams to not allow a rushing touchdown so far this season as well. Nothing against the Calgary Stampeders and the Edmonton Elks, but they aren't the most dynamic offenses so far in the CFL season. But now you get the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I mean, you're going from one end of the spectrum to the other tonight, Dave. What are you expecting from this defense?
Well, all that stat board is fine, but artistically, what a defense wants to do is make a quarterback look bad. Make him look like he doesn't know what he's doing. Make him look like he's frustrated, like he's not confident. They did that to Jake Mayer in week number 1. They absolutely did that to Taylor Cornelius in week number 2. As you suggested, Kate, they're going to the other end of the spectrum here, because it's been a long, long time since anybody's seen Zach Collaros look frustrated or out of sync.
Yeah, Ryan Phillips has done an outstanding job with this defensive unit, guys. They play inspired. They're flying around. They're having fun. All right. The front 4 does a great job getting pressure. Right. You know, when you can rush with 4 people and play coverage in the back end, you can do some great things. But this team likes playing a lot of man-to-man coverage. Milt. They play a lot of man, and they've been able to take the ball away. They've been able to chase all these crossing routes and stay with these guys. So I'm impressed. Like, to give up, I don't blame them for who they've played, right? Like, exactly. they don't set the schedule. They go, all right, I'm going to go play, and we're going to play to the best of our abilities and see where we're at. And 134 yards passing game, that's outstanding. I don't care who you're playing, Milt.
Right, and like you said, regardless of who they're playing in the CFL, you hold a team to 0 points with all the different ways you can score. That's impressive. And we were out there. Those guys are confident. Remember Peters? I'm the best in the league, and I love that. You should second guess yourself to no one. But now this is the true test. As you said, Kate, no disrespect to Edmonton and Calgary, but they're not Zach Collaros and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. This is when you're going to determine how good you are, because you're going to be tested against this offense. If I'm them, I'm going to try to make them left-handed. I'm going to take something away. I'm going to take away that running game. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm going to force Zach to beat me, because if they get that running game going, that's going to open up everything. I'm going to force Zach to beat me by himself.
To your point, Milt, I thought their secondary played really well against Edmonton last week. Look, Taylor Cornelius didn't have a great day, but a lot of those passes he was throwing, it's not him missing receivers. They were just pass breakups right there. Right. BC was on him.
Right. I'll tell you what, the BC Lions defense is excited to play this game. They want to play Zach. They want to play this receiving core. They are fired up. They'll show up tonight and they'll be ready to play.
Well, and I think, too, as you said, there's something to be said that not playing down to your opponent. You're right. They got out. They won those games. It's not their fault that the schedule's made, but we'll see what they do tonight against this Winnipeg Blue Bombers offense that has been absolutely dynamic as of late. All right, don't go anywhere. We have plenty more coming up on the pregame.
Zach Collaros has been unbelievable through 2 weeks of the Canadian Football League. 654 pass yards in those 2 games. You'd have to be a crazy person to bet against him tonight at home against the BC Lions, right? Well, you're looking at this crazy person. We're playing the under of 279.5 pass yards for Collaros. As good as Winnipeg's pass game has been, the BC Lions pass D has been even better, allowing just 134 pass yards against through 2 weeks. And we look back at the playoffs last year when BC played Winnipeg. Collaros had one of his worst games of the season. Not to mention the 279.5 tonight, the biggest number of the season for quarterbacks as far as passing yards go on FanDuel. I think this is a really shrewd way to play the contrarian angle. Let's take the under 279.5 for Collaros. On the other hand, no Dominique Rhymes for the Lions tonight. Keon Hatcher still out of the lineup as well. So Vernon Adams Jr. lacking continuity with receivers, except for Lucky Whitehead, who's back in the lineup after suffering a hamstring injury. Full go in practice. I expect Lucky to be targeted early and often from Vernon against his former team in the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Love the over of 63.5 receiving yards for Whitehead. And a final little sprinkle on most receiving yards for the week in the Canadian Football League, Justin McInnis, also of the BC Lions, at plus 4,900. We did hit Dedrick Mills plus 1,900 to lead the week in rushing last week. Maybe McInnis can do it for us again in receiving this time around.
All right, AK, well, the Lions will try to start the season 3-0 for a second straight year, which they haven't done in nearly 30 years. To do it, they will have to beat, of course, Zach Collaros. Lapo with much more on Zach right after this. Well, the last time a West Division opponent beat the Bombers at IG Field, you have to go all the way back to 2018. It was the Saskatchewan Roughriders. This field has been so phenomenal to Bombers and their fans. We'll see if the BC Lions can get it done today. You know, last week it almost seems like the Riders, you know, they were kind of right there with the Bombers in the first half, and then the second half it all fell apart. But it's what Zach does in-game. It's how he adjusts that makes him so special.
Yeah, I've watched every game, every snap he's had this year, and he's playing amazing. I talked to him yesterday, and the game just slowed down so much for him. And no matter what Saskatchewan tried last week, he was able to overcome and make plays to him. It was really great to watch. Watch this. You got 4 people rushing. They got 8 people in coverage. What are they trying to do? Zach recognized the coverage. The strong side linebacker pushes out. What does he do? Throws the inside route. Easy throw for him. What are they going to do now? Let's blitz. Let's bring too many players on the run play. What does he do? He recognizes it, gets it out to Dembski for a 10-yard gain. All right, so the run happens. Now he hands the blitz. They try to zone blitz this time. All right, let's try to play zone and blitz him. What does he do? He scrambles and creates a first down. He did that better last week than he has in the last 2 seasons. What does he have? Another opportunity. Man coverage, nobody open. He sees a crease, scrambles in for a nice, easy touchdown. So, like, no matter what they do, now they drop 9 in coverage. What does that mean? Let's just rush 3 people. Well, you're giving them too much time to scramble around, find another player for a first down. Now, let's go back to blitzing them. They try to blitz them this time. Wolotarski's there for the first down. So, every time. This is my favorite throw of last week. It's a run play. They're bringing a strong side linebacker in a blitz. He throws right into the blitz for a nice, again, easy completion. Last week, he was 5 for 5 in the red zone, Kate. They converted 70% on second down, which is unheard of. So it'll be interesting to see what the BC Lions, what Ryan Phillips does to slow him down.
Good luck with that, because he will adjust.
Yes.
But just remarkable play by Zach Collaros, which we've seen now for so many years. All right, here is our John Liu standing by with Collaros.
Zach, we're minutes away from your 100th career start. How does a round figure like 100 help put your career into perspective?
Oh, I don't know. It's a blessing for sure to have played this many games, and you know, to have especially the last 4 seasons, you know, been with this group. It's just been amazing. So I love the CFL. You know, this league's just it's been great to me and my family, and yeah, I didn't even know that. Nice. It's awesome.
Here's another round figure. You're 6 yards away from 25,000 in your career, coming against the stingiest defense in the league. What are the pressure points you want to key on to bring success tonight?
Oh, yeah, they're a great football team for sure. A great defense, like we talked about all week. We got to be patient, take what they're giving us. You know, when we get the looks we want to throw the ball downfield, we got to take advantage of it.
Thanks for the Zach.
John, yep.
Gets a nice roll, too, chasing Grant inside the 20. He breaks out to the left. They keep coming. He is breaking free.
was on his own.
What a game breaker is Janarian Grant.
It was a thing of beauty last week. 93 yards to the house for Janarian Grant. And it made us think, what is the best return play you've ever seen in your career? I know Dave could take at least 10 minutes on this, so Coach, I'm going to start with you.
So, you know, I was fortunate enough the last 2 years to be with Dedman, and he's just a talented football player. But what Janarian did last week, I've never seen a guy cross the field, make that many people miss, and just score a touchdown like he did. He basically said, I don't care where these people are, I'm going to make the play to make the touchdown. Unbelievable.
The thing is that jumps out to me of this one is just the broken tackles, right? Like, and before he's even headed upfield, you know, just on a human level, you'd be out of gas by the time you get to that sideline, and then when he cuts it up, you know, that's when it becomes the highlight reel.
Right, and I know Gizmo Williams is watching this, the greatest returner in CFL history by far, but that is the greatest return. That play from the time it was kicked till the time Janarian hit the end zone, 27 seconds. The guy who originally tried to tackle him, I think it was Deontay Williams from Saskatchewan, was also the last guy who tried to tackle him.
So you're giving a little love to Williams in here as well.
Oh, my goodness, it was crazy.
And my point about him being gassed, you see him fall across the goal line, right?
But he's in check. That's being in check.
The best punt returners, like Devontae Dedman, right, and Janarian, they catch the ball and they get north-south. And they're going to make one or two guys miss, and then they're gone, right? Yeah. So you don't dance around. You get north-south, and you break tackles, and you make your plays, right? Is this our boy Dedman?
Making his 100th CFL start tonight. By the way, his record coming in 63-36. Zach Collaros looks to lead his Bombers to a perfect 3-0 record to start the season. And on the flip side, Vernon Adams Jr. with the exact same mission as the Lions look to start 3-0 for the second straight year. Something they haven't done since 1994 in back-to-back years. It is Thursday Night Football, presented by 7-Eleven. I'm Kate Burness, alongside Dave Naylor, Paul Lapolice, and Milt Stiegel. Milt Stiegel, a monster matchup for Thursday Night Football. Two undefeated teams going head-to-head at IG Field. Key matchups in this one for you.
That defensive backfield from the BC Lions, arguably, but maybe no argument, the best defensive backfield in the CFL, going against this Winnipeg Blue Bomber receiving core and Zach Collaros. That's going to be a challenge. Gary Peters told me last week we're the best in the league, Mill, and I said, okay, we're going to find out next week when you play the Blue Bomber. So this is the matchup I'm looking at.
My matchup is Vernon Adams. Vernon Adams versus the front seven of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Why? Because Vernon Adams done a great job with this short passing game. Under 8-yard routes, he's been able to get through his progressions. He killed Edmonton last week in the middle of the field, those short throws. Will the D-line get their hands up, those big defensive ends, and knock the balls down and put them in second and long situations where they've had a little bit of trouble the first 2 weeks of the season?
I'm going to up the ante on Winnipeg's front seven.
There you go.
Say their front seven and Taquan Mizell, the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League, rookie leading rusher for the BC Lions. And of course, they let James Butler go via free agents to Hamilton. That's what GMs have to do. You got to find a guy who can fill his spot. Mizell looks like that, and hey, that's taking some of the heat off Vernon Adams.
And what about former teammates? Offensive coordinator Buck Pierce going against his former teammate and Ryan Phillips, defensive coordinator for the BC Lions.
Oh boy.
That will be a chess match right there.
All right, this should be an absolutely fascinating matchup at IG Field, which, by the way, has been oh so kind to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We've got Matt Dunnigan, Rod Smith standing by with the call. It's the Lions and the Bombers coming up next on TSN.
Let's
go Lions! Let's go!
Thank you, Kate, on a beautiful Thursday night in Winnipeg for a showdown between two unbeatens, a rematch of the Western Final last November. And the BC Lions don't want to call it a statement game, and yet, Matt Dunnigan, you can't help but think this is a great opportunity to see how they stack up against the team that's been the best in the West the last 3 years. Quarterback play, of course, is always important. We got two really good ones to start the season in Zach Collaros and Vernon Adams Jr.
Yeah, Zach making his 100th start. He's 63-36 right now, looking for his 64th win in his illustrious career. Since becoming a Blue Bomber, this guy's just totally dominated. 29-4, and he is basically the new mayor of Winnipeg. He just owns this place, and he's been an incredible watch since becoming a Bomber. Vernon Adams, boy, this is going to be a match made in heaven. He and Jordan McSimic, his offense, VA is a match made in heaven with his skills of throwing the football and making defenses pay with their legs. Boy, this could be a great matchup.
Rick Campbell has been the head coach of the BC Lions since 2021, really. Left the Red Blacks after the 19th season. Of course, there was no season in 20, but a 12-6 record and a 2-0 start from last year to this year. And Mike O'Shea, nothing but success lately, with that one exception to the Grey Cup last November. They have been the best team going for the last 3 years. Janarian Grant, and that run, that punt return touchdown that's been the talk of the CFL this past week after what he did at Mosaic, is back to get this underway. Thursday night football, two 2-0 clubs. Janarian Grant has it. Always a threat. Always, as he's taken down right around the 35. And Zach Collaros, you heard mentioned in the pregame, his 100th career start, Matty. The last 30 or so have been particularly noteworthy.
Yeah, he's just been a great fit. I've never seen anything like it. Maybe Ricky Ray, when he became an Argonaut his first year, best hired gun I've ever seen for a short period of time. But Zach, over the last 3+ years, has just been like a glove, as they say, Rod. He's been a beautiful fit for this community and this football team.
Since going to the Bombers, only one loss here to Montreal in overtime last year. That's it. Handing off Brady Oliveira, who seems fine, thank you. A thorax injury. He was a game-time decision, but as you can see, Oliveira's running well.
Yeah, that was a game-time decision. Up front, Stanley Bryant, 4-time Offensive Lineman of the Year, making his 189th straight start. The guy never comes off the football field. Dalton Schoen sees it like a quarterback, extremely smart. First one in, last one out. That's why he's putting up great numbers in this short year. Rookie of the Year last year, just an incredible player. Of course, Zach Collaros just needs a few more yards here to hit 25K. That should happen early, if not on this play. He's getting things done there, folks. 25,000 yards passing is a lot.
On a 2nd and 1, Oliveira again, and if he gets it, he didn't by much. Ben Vladeck in there. Josh Woods as well. We wait for the spot. They said they just needed a yard, but that Lions defense that's really had an impressive start to the season, and they mark it up with the nose at around the 45.
Yeah, they're going bigs because it's 3rd down, Rod. It's just short, inches short. So with the neutral zone, Drew Brown draws in. See what he can do.
Sione Tehema, excuse me, Matty, Josh Banks, Woody Barron, Matthew Betts, and a great linebacking core so far as well.
Yeah, I mentioned in the pregame show, talking about this defensive line, these players to a man, this great leverage, pad level, they're going to need it here.
So Drew Brown keeps, and he has the first down. As we take a look at that BC Lions defense coming off a shutout, Matty.
Yeah, Matthew Betts, boy, he's just a sponge. He's really kind of turned the corner in his career since joining the Lions, and he's a man to watch and see if they can get to Collaros because of that man, Ryan Phillips. But Ben Vladeck in the middle, 3rd-year player from UBC. He deserves to be started for this football team, makes plays. TJ Lee, he's a leader of that defense. And he makes things happen on the back end there, and certainly to the field side, short side corner with Gary Pigs.
Coming off their first shutout since 1977. First down. Bomber ball, Brady Oliveira, 3rd carry, and he is running well, running hard. No signs of the injury that he suffered last week.
Yeah, Rod, this just looks like a statement here by the Bombers. It says, yeah, you guys do a goose egg. How about we just run it down your throat for 3-4 plays, make you like it. Well, it's just washing them down. Little patience there by Brady, finding a hole late and then exploding up through it, getting an easy first down. I can't see that, but just the Bombers thinking, Buck Pierce up in the booth calling plays, thinking, we're just going to pound it and make them like it.
Second in the CFL in rushing at 155 coming in. They throw. It's Rashid Bailey, and he has it down for a short gain on first down to the BC 50. Mentioning that 100 starts, and have a look at the stats and bear in mind just how much the winning percentage is skewed since he arrived in Winnipeg in 2019.
Yeah, I like this one right here. He's really taking care of the football. 154 touchdowns to 71 picks. That's improved since becoming a Bomber as well.
But 29-4 as a Bomber. Absolutely remarkable, Collaros. 2nd and 7, throwing again, looking to his left. Incomplete. In the vicinity was Dalton Schoen with Jalen Edwards-Cooper on the coverage, and a flag does come out.
They had a chance to talk to Buck Pierce, offensive coordinator for the Bombers, before the ball game, and good catching up with him. But he's talking about Dalton Schoen. This is a character guy, this is.
Major foul, roughing the passer. BC, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So big penalty against the Lions that moves Winnipeg down to around the 35 of BC.
Yeah, he's right here, and he's right over the center, folks. And yeah, it's late. You can't take him to the ground. What are you thinking?
Bombers' first possession. On the move now inside the Lions 35. 2 2-0 clubs. It'll fake to Dembski. Rolling out to the right. A flag comes out again as it's completed to Oliveira, who gets out of bounds and what would be enough for another Winnipeg first down.
A fast start here for the Bombers. Exactly what you want. People are late to the ball game, going to miss the show. It's good to see Brady out there. Brady Oliveira. Questionable for the ball game.
No end. Winnipeg. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
But that one comes back, and we have an injured player on the field. And Thibaut Debaye will be back in Thursday Night Football. Yes, round 1 scheduled for 3 of these heavyweights, Winnipeg and BC, and strength versus strength when you talk about how the Lions defense has been, Matty, and that explosive Winnipeg offense.
Yeah, team not noted for taking too many penalties, only 4 on the average game, which is fantastic. Putting himself in the first and 15 here, Rod, not ideal.
After that 5-yard penalty for no end, Oliveira again, he has been busy on this opening drive, carrying the ball, receiving it too, and picks up a good chunk of that 15 yards they need for another first down.
All that angst for nothing. Brady's just fine. Out of the backfield, Zach puts it on him, ball, catchable ball, we can turn it up. Bolo combo and hot pursuit. He gets what he can, put him in a second and short.
And if there's a statement being made so far, it's number 20 Winnipeg is all right.
Yeah, all that worrying for nothing.
2nd and 4 after that 11-yard gain. The pass to Brady Oliveira. Zach Collaros, by the way, has gone over 25,000 yards passing on this drive. That one falls incomplete. It's hit at the line of scrimmage, falling down, and a 3rd down coming up for the Bombers.
Yeah, they show a double tight formation, point fake, ISO fake to try to get everybody to bite and hands down, but it looks like Betts off the edge. Your defensive end we're talking about, he gets the job done right there. Look at him, right? He's going to get his hands up, and Zach Collaros point fake. Boom, get it up, Betts. Get your mitts up there. Oh, that was Bolo Combo, number 20. Man inside of him got that.
So Sergio Castillo comes on for the field goal try. He is 5 for 5, longest of 50 this season so far. This from 37. And he stays perfect in 2023 and puts the Bombers on the board in their first possession. First possession BC and Vernon Adams coming up here. Thursday Night Football from IG Field in Winnipeg. It's early in Winnipeg, and the Bombers offense, impressive driving down for a field goal, have a 3-0 lead. First time out, Vernon Adams now. And a big test for the Lions offense. Taquan Mizell, the CFL's leading rusher after 2 weeks, picks up a few yards and a second down coming up.
Alden Darby came up with the shoe. Vernon's trying to take some of the weight off his shoulders, getting Taquan involved early. Was 4-2 last year in his 6 starts. 4-4, 2-0 this year. Vernon Adams settled in quite nicely with Jordan Simick's offense.
He was 25 of 35 for 312 yards, a touchdown, and a pick last week in their victory over the Edmonton Elks. 2nd down and 7 now. The heat was coming. He gets it away, and he completes it to Javon Catoy, who's been a big part of the Lions offense so far in 2023, and a first down BC.
Yeah, Catoy is lined up like a tight end, and he just free releases. Nobody covers him. Vernon waits, buys him some more time, and throws a strike and lets the big boy get the first down. Told us on Zoom chats earlier in the week that he wants to get that big boy involved more. Von Catoy.
Loves his size and his strength after the catch. 1st and 10 up near midfield. Faking that little inside toss to Lucky Whitehead, and looking deep down the field for Alexander Hollins. A flag comes out. The new field corner, Abu Durrami Soiree, was in coverage. It went off his helmet, and it looks like he's the subject of this flag.
Interference.
Yeah, he just ran him over. He never got his head around.
He run a foul, automatic first down.
He gets his head around. It's a piece of cake. He's right here. He's going to run a post, and that's all he's going to do. And Durrami, he never gets his head around. He just runs him over. Got there a little early. Decent coverage. Better playing a ball, he might have an interception.
Who gets the flag and gets the knock on the head as the football arrives. Abu Durrami Soiree in his first year out of Colgate. Demario Houston not with the team this week. Winston Rose was the starter at boundary corner. He is injured. From the Winnipeg 20 now. The Lions pressing with that big penalty. Back to Mizell. Breaks one tackle and a couple of more as he pushes for a couple of tough yards. How about that BC offense, Matty?
Yeah, and you know, I talk about Stanley Bryant. You got to talk about Suk Chung being a stud up front and never leaves the lineup. 110 start, 109 in a row. Gotta love that. The big boys can just continue to go up there and grind it out. We talked about Lucky being back in the lineup. Only 3 catches on the year, looking to improve on that.
Mizell ground out a couple of yards. It's a 2nd and 8. Crowd picks up at IG Field. Adams, pump fake, a look into the end zone. Coverage from Des Lawrence, and a flag does come out. The intended receiver was Hollins, and Lawrence, another big interference call working against this Winnipeg defense.
Desmond Lawrence shaking his head. Second player. Yeah, it's a good route. And, you know, you talk to a man.
Winnipeg number 22. Automatic first down.
That to me is a good call and a nice route. Everybody in the BC Lions talks about how Alexander Hollins is a great route runner. Watch this route here. Just a little hesitation, then up over the top. Yeah, nice route. Better ball gets him there.
Dominic Davis at the 1, punches it in for the Lions touchdown.
How about that for a response drive?
Aided by a couple of big PIs by the Winnipeg corners, moves them down the field.
Which has not been in their calling card for the first 2 games of the football season. And, well, that's saying, yeah, we're here. It's going to be a game. Strap it on. Bring a lunch pail. We're going to be here all day.
Dominic Davis, a short yardage specialist, and with that PI, that last one, it put him down at the 1, and Davis, the veteran who started his career here in Winnipeg, takes it in, and lo and behold, 6 plays, 70 yards in under 3 minutes time, and the BC Lions have answered back to take the 7-3 lead.
With a little help from their enemy, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Sean White, point after. Davis caps it off. for the Lions touchdown and a 7-3 lead first quarter in Winnipeg.
Yeah, we got Alexander Hollins going to work in both corners for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Abu Durami Soare runs right over the back of Hollins on a post route, takes that one right off the noggin. Here, a little double move, hesitation, and draws contact from Desmond Lawrence on the other side. Puts him on the 1 yard. Nice response drive, but certainly aided by the Winnipeg Blue Bomber cornerbacks.
Just last week, Winnipeg opened the scoring against Saskatchewan with a field goal. The Riders came right back for a touchdown to lead at 7-3. Similar story early on here as Janarian Grant takes it at his 15. And he is taken down. Brooks Parker, the first one in, 41 for the Lions for that special teams tackle at the Winnipeg 30 as Collaros in the offense heads back on again.
Winnipeg threw the first punch. BC responded.
And we saw a lot of that with the Bombers and Riders through 3 quarters anyway before Winnipeg pulled away. But
yeah, and a lot of talk about their poise and being in those situations, having players that have been there, done that before, and really never get out of their cylinder, never break character, don't panic. See what goes on here this evening.
So sorry, Matty, how do they respond? We saw a lot of Oliveira on that first possession. Stays in the block. Collaros throws over the middle, and that's caught. Catch number 1 of the night for Nick Dembski, who had a brilliant start against Hamilton in week 1 here at IG Field.
Yeah, that's pretty tight coverage, too, by T.J. Lee, veteran halfback. Coming left to right in your screen. You're going to watch Zach Collaros throw it out there for him, and, hey, this is not an easy catch. Dembski catching on the back end of that football with Lee in hot pursuit. That's just good football play right there.
He had 5 catches for 56. He's got 11 for 169 for Winnipeg this season. Collaros fakes it, and he finds another receiver. It's Schoen. Dalton Schoen again up at the close to midfield, across it, I should say, inside Lions territory.
Yeah, Zach breaks contain here and watch right to left, and watch Schoen just shuffling in a different window. Zach breaks contained. Betts goes out the flat. He shuffles inside. He finds him. Doesn't get touched till he's 13, 14 yards downfield.
Well, they started at the 32, their own 32. They're now at BC's 46. Couple of big passing plays. Dembski and then Schoen. Facing some heat. Collaros throws. It's incomplete. A late flag comes out in the Bomber backfield. They were close to getting to Collaros. They've already taken 1 roughing the passer penalty. And this one's getting marched off against the Lions down to their 31.
Both clubs taking their turns helping out the other team offensively.
Major foul roughing the passer. BC number 92. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That time it's Josh Banks who gets called.
Yeah, Josh is right here, and he's just going to go a little too hard, too late. Nice get off on the bottom by David Menard, almost offsides. You see Banks taking him down. Official looked at Zach, grimacing, said, yeah, I'm going to throw it.
Discussion.
After automatic review by the command center, it's determined there's no roughing the passer. Pass is incomplete. It's second down.
Well, they're going to pick that flag up. So
hey, that's I like that. Where I do like that. Where the command center can get involved and overturn it wrong. That good get off by Menard coming down, and then right up the middle, Banks. He took. I mean, he was just finishing the play. He has no idea whether or not Zach has the football or not.
Well, he was certainly committed to the action before the ball got thrown.
Yeah, he didn't hit him high, didn't take him down, didn't drive him into the ground. So I think that's a good call. I like it. If you're a Blue Bomber fan, you're a little upset. If you're a BC Lions fan, you love it.
So it's back up across the 45 and a second down and 10 now. Collaros. Matthew Betts has him. Coming off the edge is Betts. And that That's his 3rd sack of the season, and that will force Winnipeg to punt.
Yeah, and that's kind of a strange stance, but John Bowman says that Betts is buying into everything he's telling him, and he just beat Stanley Bryant. Stanley was laid off the football. That is not what 66 typically does, but I can guarantee you Betts is bringing it.
So Jamison Sheehan from Bendigo, Australia is back for his first punt.
That's amazing.
Classic Aussie rules style. End over end, takes a hop. Terry Williams picks it up with nowhere to go. Out of bounds deep in the Lions zone. They had to punt because of this. Betts, product of Laval, and another big sack for him. The Bombers, like the Riders last Friday, held a moment of silence prior to kickoff for the victims of last Thursday's tragic accident near Carberry, Manitoba. With more, we head down to John Lou.
Thank you, Rod. And as we speak, there's a memorial service taking place in the city of Dauphin, 3.5 hours northwest of Manitoba, for the 16 citizens who lost their lives last Thursday in one of the worst traffic accidents in Manitoba history. Now, the Bombers found out about the tragic news as they were landing and deplaning in Regina last Thursday in preparation for last Friday's game. Zach Gallar is saying that players, coaches, and staff were shocked and stunned silence, several of them reaching out to offer condolences to Manitoba residents Brady Oliveira and Nick Dembski. Now, as an organization, the Bombers are taking steps to try to find the appropriate time and manner to reach out and offer comfort to the victims' families and survivors. But right now, the pain and emotions are just still too raw.
John Lou, thank you for that. BC on first down and a deep throw down the left for Vernon Adams, and that falls incomplete. It's broken up by Evan Holm.
Yeah, he's had that route covered, just baited the receiver and batted it away. Nice play by Holm, second-year player from North Dakota. Made that look easy. VA kind of stared it down, too. Gave him a pretty good indication where he was going with the football.
The ball is at the Lions 13. They lead the game 7-3. 4 minutes to go until the end of the first quarter, and that is complete. Second completion for Vernon Adams, and it's Alexander Hollins picking up that big catch and a first down. BC buying themselves a lot of breathing room up to the 33.
Yeah, he's just running up here, and he's going to sit down in a big old hole out there to the boundary, and Vernon just zips him the football. Well, Hollins was going to work in the corners early. There he goes to work on a halfback and a linebacker, and sits in a nice hole, and Vernon finds it.
To Lucky Whitehead. Up to the 40. Whitehead back in after missing last week's game with an injury. He who started his career here in Winnipeg. A look at that Bomber defense.
Yeah, and why not? I mean, we talk about Willie Jefferson so much, as he deserves. Just incredible stats from game to game. And then Adam Bighill in the middle. He's a few more tackles away from his old teammate Solomon Elamimi, and Brendan Alexander, one of the most feared free safeties in the middle. Bringing a hat.
In is 7 Whitehead, 2nd and 3 BC. Handing off to Mizell. Drives his way close to a first down. Take one, Mizell. And does indeed have enough to move the sticks. The Lions on the move late in this first quarter. Mizell, quite a story, Matty. Leading the league in rushing through 2 weeks. He wanted to make his CFL debut last year, but some things got in the way. Medically, immigration, this didn't happen, and he's savoring the chance here. Another completion. Shorter one to Lucky Whitehead as Adams goes back to him.
Yeah, playing pitch and catch. Taking what the defense gives him. Short yardage situation. Bringing in Mizell. You got options. Things play in your favor here. 2nd and medium. Defense really doesn't know what you're going to do. I think Jordan McSinnick and Vernon Adams are mixing up nicely here in the first quarter.
Their leading receiver, Dominique Rhymes, is injured and out, a foot injury, but Whitehead, as mentioned, missing last week and inserted back in at the boundary wideout position. So here we are in a 2nd and 5 as Adams rolls out and just throws it downfield, and it's incomplete, close to being intercepted by Des Lawrence as he was just playing with the sideline there, trying to keep a foot in. So 3rd and 5 coming up.
I mean, you just can't stand success. You just catch the football. I mean, nobody's out there. They just make that catch. He was trying to get both feet in, and he was concentrating on getting feet in. You don't need one. Forgot about the football. Most important thing.
In his CFL career, Janarian Grant has a punt return touchdown every 5 games. Of course, he had one last week. And he's well covered here. Lions special teams all over him inside the 10. This was remarkable, Matty.
Yeah.
Against Saskatchewan, all the work he did to make this happen for a 92-yard touchdown.
He, his teammates, got to have the ability, and Janarian Grant certainly does. They made everybody miss but one guy in that field. That's ridiculous. I saw that a lot with Gizmo. I saw it a lot with pinball. Those are 2 of the best I ever played with. Earl Winfield, just incredible what they do. I'm going Giz all day, the best of all time.
Same here. That was a great return, though, and there's a good play on offense to buy themselves some space to Rasheed Bailey. Well, here's what Rick Campbell had to say about that, just watching from home, that return by Janarian Grant.
It's good for the league. It's not good for our cover teams, and it's makes me lose hair as a coach, whatever I have left of it. But it's obviously good for the league. The CFL's been built on, great punt returners over the last few decades. You can think of all the guys that have come through this league, and he's definitely one of those guys.
Yes, he is.
Handing off there to Oliveira on the first down after the Bailey reception, so pick up a few more yards. But, yeah, I mean, you mentioned Giz. He's an old teammate of yours, and I agree with you. Henry Williams was the best, but that, I can't recall seeing a return that remarkable as the one last week. And as you see, now, body of work here, 35 games for Grant. Giz, 200 games and averaging one every 7.7 games.
Yeah, but he had, and not taking anything away from Janarian Grant, because that was a crazy, and he's got a crazy stat going there every 5th game, taking one back. But Gizmo, he had over 26 come back.
Quincy Mosier came over and looks like a late hit on Dalton Schoen after the ball had gone by, and the safety Mosier came in and knocked him down hard. And we do have a flag out.
Yeah. Now, if you're a Bomber, you can't retaliate. I mean, this is just, that's a bad hit. That's not what football's about. Quincy, 2nd-year player from Georgia.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. BC number 36. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. That's the quarter.
So the first quarter comes to an end on a penalty, and giving the Bombers offense more life now. They went down, had a field goal to open it up, but back came the Lions, aided by a couple of pass interference calls for the touchdown that has them in front through 15, 7-3. Through the first quarter in Winnipeg, here are the numbers, and this is uncharacteristic for a Bomber team. What stands out, Matty, I think, the 3 penalties for 58 yards, the 2 pass interference calls that led to the BC touchdown.
Yeah, and you can't get into that situation in retaliation, but I credit Alexander Hollins for basically drawing those, because he was open on the post, balls thrown out there further, that's a touchdown, and then balls thrown out there further on the double move, that's a touchdown. But he slowed down and played the football and drew those penalties, and put his football team in the doorstep, and it was a great retaliation drive. and answer. But uncharacteristic of both these football teams, it just shows that they're both hot under the collar a little bit, and knows the importance of this football game.
You can see some intensity there up across the 40. Colaros is taken down. He is sacked again, this time by a blitzing Manny Rugamba. Betts had gotten to him earlier. That's the second time in the night that Colaros has been sacked, and he's been hit hard a couple of times as well.
Yeah, Rugamba's right here, and he's coming off the edge, and he's untouched. I mean, I just knew that was coming. That's tendency by Winnipeg. They had the right play call. He just keeps his outside leverage, comes in very nicely, and just casually takes down Zach Colaros.
Loss of 5, 2nd and 15. Bombers. Oh, nearly complete to Wolitarsky, and that's with Josh Woods bearing down. So Wolitarsky can't hang on, and that's it. 2 and out for Winnipeg.
Yeah, Zach, you can see the lane. Boy, he was really wild. The ball was put right on the money. That's one Wolitarsky would want back, because that's a catchable ball all day long for that guy.
Josh Woods in his 3rd year out of UCLA.
Ooh, you talk about a lower half. That guy is put together, man.
Lucky Whitehead is back with Terry Williams for the return. Williams will have it at the 35. Cuts up and picks up 6-7 yards. They'll start at the 42. Well, we talk a lot about Colaros' impact on the team, but Mike O'Shea, the head coach, big part of that as well. As you look at the last 29 home games, a record of 27-2. The only losses to the Alouettes in overtime last year, Matty, and to Hamilton in 2019.
Yeah, he's certainly come a long way from when he started out at 5-13. His first year as head coach, and then that was a period of time there where he was on the verge of possibly going elsewhere, but boy, things kind of settled in nicely, and he ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
Mizell with the ball on that first down. Well, this is a tough place for anybody to visit. We asked Vernon Adams if he has any fond memories of playing here.
No, I do not. So I hope I can make a good memory tomorrow, or if y'all watching it right now, tonight.
Candid answer, and he wouldn't be the only one to say that. Visiting teams coming in, but they're leading right now in the 2nd quarter. It's a 2nd and 7 at the BC 45. Adams. That's complete midfield. First down, BC, and it's Hollins again. He's been a popular target for Adams early in this season.
Yeah, and this is not that difficult to cover here. He's right. He's in the front of your screen right here, and he's going to run straight upfield and sit down. Little switch motion there. Lucky draws coverage underneath, and he's wide open. Feed him the rock. VA does just that.
At the Winnipeg 54 and a 1st and 10. Willie Jefferson chasing him there, and it's Hollins again, and taken down by Lawrence, but not before he gets it close to another first down around the 45. Looks like a 2nd and short.
Yeah, just a slant in front of the defenders playing off. VA says, I'll take that. Tell you, this is a team that doesn't look fazed by Winnipeg's prowess over the last 3 or 4 years. They seem to come in here dead set on making this a ball game. It's exactly what we got.
Short yardage. Dominic Davis, who scored BC's touchdown, is in on this 2nd and 1. And they stalled him. He needed so little, though. Needed about a foot.
Looking at the linesman running in from the side.
It's all about the spot here.
3rd down.
If that's the case, I'm sure he would just stay out there. Normally Davis, that tall body, kind of built as a quarterback for these situations too.
You're going to bring him in, just kind of give you an idea how short they are.
The nose of it still back at the Winnipeg 45. Davis, though, had a bunch, 13 touchdowns with the Alouettes last year as a backup to Trevor Harris. after Vernon Adams was traded off. They're still measuring this now. Well, it was probably about 12 inches before, and it's probably down to half a foot now, but still short. Kept his feet, but he had nowhere to go forward.
You can't half-step that play right there. Man, you better be all in, or else you're going to get hurt.
Get Gauthier at the bottom. Big Hill moving in there. Adam Big Hill is so good in these situations, too. Watch number 4. Timing his jump. Davis in. 3rd and inches. Davis again. Wow. If he got it, it wasn't by much. A flag does come out, by the way, with the snap of the ball. And he needed so little.
Offside. Winnipeg defensive line.
It doesn't matter.
5-yard penalty. First down.
No need to measure this time. They'll just put it up 5 yards. A first down, BC.
Bombers got caught cheating, and Rick Campbell wasn't going to let it slide. Look at him. Look at Rick. They're offsides. Linesman's got it. John Bowman's making sure he knows as well.
At the Winnipeg 39. The Lions up 4, looking to add to their lead on this drive. Mizell, right side. And Gauthier coming in, gets him wrapped up and taken down, preventing him from really breaking free. But he still picks up about 4 or 5 yards. Second down coming up.
Yeah, you say breaking free, Rod, and well, we haven't seen him do that yet, but he was close to this. But Gauthier kind of corralled him here. Upper body tackle, just got his mitts on him, said, no. That's it. That's it. No more.
Call it 4, 2nd and 6. Winnipeg 35. Vernon Adams. 3 receivers to the left. In motion. And taken down is Hollins, who wasn't quite down and managed to lunge ahead for a couple of more yards closer to the 30. So a 3rd down is coming up now. He tried to get it a little bit closer, but it's still a few yards away. And Sean White in his 15th season. 6 for 7 on the year. That one miss last week in a busy game for him at BC Place. Longest 51. This one just under 40 for White. Heading left. Goes off the upright. Sean White.
That's 2 weeks in a row.
That's 2 weeks in a row he's done that. He had a right upright against the Elks that went through. Call shot. Doink. Well, 3 is 3. And a 7-point lead, BC. Hey, the CFL and TSN family would like to send a big shout out to longtime Bomber fan Larry Seal, who loves the team so much he built a Bomber room for his 6 grandchildren. Now, we know he's watching tonight because Larry never misses a Bomber game, no matter what. All the best to you, Larry.
I'm just going to say, Rod, you got to do that during the winter, right? Got to hole up in the basement.
Get that
Make
moved
it
up.
happen. Yeah.
About that. Well, it's now after that field goal by White. BC's opened up the full touchdown lead. So Winnipeg ball. 9:04 on the clock until halftime. And you talked about it earlier, how the Bombers, with all the veterans they have, they've seen plenty of adversity. It's not like they've led the whole time in a lot of their games last year before that, but they do have a way of getting back into games, and that's the challenge for BC now, to keep this going against a team that has had the most impressive start certainly in 2023 offensively, especially from their 46 and a 2nd and 6. Collaros, deep look, open receiver but a bit too far for Dalton Schoen. Marcus Sales was with them pretty much stride for stride. Schoen a little bit ahead.
Yeah, this is the ISO here. It's Dalton Schoen doing a single double move. Hesitate. Get on over the top. Marcus has got to get on his horse. That ball's close to being on the money. It's a big completion. Winnipeg going for it all on 2nd and 5 because he's man-to-man coverage right there, and they just missed it.
So Jamison Sheehan back to punt for the 2nd time in this game. Lucky Whitehead and Terry Williams are back. And it is heading Williams' way again inside the 10. A great punt by Sheehan. A 54-yard punt. And the return gets up across the 20. Adams back on with a 7-point lead on Thursday night in Winnipeg. It was great to know that Lions O-lineman Phil Norman was released from hospital on Monday and was back at practice the next day, less than a week after collapsing on the practice field with what the club called a significant medical episode. Once again, let's go down to John.
Yes, and Phil Norman received a 3-minute standing ovation from his teammates when he walked into the BC dressing room on Tuesday. And apparently, Norman, being a man of few words, was actually convinced to do a little bit of a speech. And part of the content is that he wants to return to play, although Rick Campbell says that hasn't been ruled out as a possibility, but it's just not on the radar right now. So until then, Norman will be a source of inspiration for his teammates. Vernon Adams Jr. saying, "Win for Phil" was last year's slogan, and the ultimate goal is to put up a 50-point victory for their teammate who is sidelined for the next indefinite time period, guys.
Inspiring story, John. A number of the Lions we talked to deeply, obviously concerned first.
Winnipeg number 98. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
A roughing the passer call this time against Winnipeg and Anthony Bennett, but have another look at this.
Standing right here and right in front of the official all day long. You can't do that. Do you not know the rules? That's just frustrating. A team that only averages 4 penalties per game, best in the league by far, not playing discipline right now.
So the ball comes out to the 37 in a 1st and 10. Pressure's coming, gets it away. It's caught wide open as Whitehead, who puts a hand down and keeps his feet and picks up 5 or 10 more yards inside the Winnipeg 45.
Lucky just comes across formation right to left. I'll point him out to you. He's right here. He's going to come upfield and come right across the formation. And the man is causing a lot of damage, whether he's catching the ball or not, just running routes. Alexander Hollins takes the top off over on the left-hand side, and Lucky finds himself all alone. There's Hollins there. It was just a nice play design. I'm telling you, BC Lions coach has got their boys tuned up tonight.
Not looking intimidated at all in this visit to IG Field at 2-0. Complete again over to Whitehead. And picks up a couple of yards, 2nd and long coming up here for BC.
Yeah.
And to finish that thought, Matty, about Phil Norman.
Yeah.
Just obviously so concerned. They had canceled practice when he collapsed, but just all the stories John talked about, the standing O, everything else, such a feel-good story to see him back with the team and watching practice.
No question. Eye-opening for everybody on that organization. All those prayers are paying off.
2nd and 7 at the Bomber 42. And down he goes. They get to Adams on the blitz. Malik Clements coming in. And Winnipeg with a much-needed sack.
It's Malik Clements, 2nd of the season. And Vernon had a lot of time. I'll show you where Malik comes from. He's standing right here. And he gets there a little late, but on time. Well, he just blew up. He blew up Mizell and just put him on his heels and said, get away from me.
The punt by Stephen Flintoff. And it rolls back across the goal line inside, so Grant has to alertly pick it up. Thinking initially it might roll into the end zone, but it comes back out again. Malik Clements bearing down on the blitz. Down goes Adams. But he and the Lions are up in this first half. 10-3.
They went low today. couple 62s out there, I know.
You were checking out the
I
Travelers?
was checking it out a little bit. Yeah.
The tournament after the U.S. Open, too.
Yeah.
A holding penalty against Winnipeg puts them back to start this drive, and they're one. Breaking free and getting up just across the 5 is Brady Oliveira.
Yeah, and I'm just watching these two teams going at it, and it is offensive coordinator versus defensive coordinator. Both sides just putting their players in good positions. These guys are playing it out, and through the quarter and a half of play here, I think BC is certainly getting the best of them right now.
Well, biggest stories coming in: Winnipeg's offense versus BC's defense.
Buck Pierce right there, offensive coordinator.
And a former Lions quarterback, too, starting his career there.
Well, he was tough as nails when he played.
Yeah, absolutely. Throwing from the end zone, Collaros gets it away to the right and deep for Carlton Agudosi. Hauled down by TJ Lee after getting it up to midfield. First catch of the day, Agudosi, and it's a big one.
Yeah, this is beautiful. You're going to watch Schoen. He's going to come in here, and then this is Agudosi straight up the football field. Watch Schoen just draw just a little enough right here, peeking in there. Oh, he drops and hands him off to deep outside third responsibility, and Zach puts it out there. A lot of room to work with, too. TJ Lee can't get there. I think they're expecting the ball to go to Dalton Schoen, but it went to Agudosi.
Gain of 47 yards to the Winnipeg 52. Back on the ground, Oliveira. And he's finding some space. He gets it across midfield, and it's down around the BC 52.
That's huge. We've seen that the last two series on 2nd and 5. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers going downtown. First it was it was on man coverage, and then second it was on zone coverage, a cut corner late. With TJ Lee, experienced vet halfback over the top, but Zach Collaros threw a ball that was perfect.
Gain of 6, Oliveira. 7 carries, 40 yards. A 2nd and 4 at the BC 52 coming up here for Winnipeg.
Swapping that field quickly, huh, Rod?
They do. We've seen a bit of that in this game. Oliveira again. Needs the 4. Looks like he has the 4.
It didn't look like he was injured at all this week. Game down decision. This guy looking fresh.
4 and more. And a first down at the 3-minute break. Winnipeg, they're driving, and they're down a touchdown in the first half at home against BC.
Common theme on the panel tonight.
Need a little something when you're here, Coach. Get yourself together.
And all I can say,
there you go.
Looking good, Dave.
is I'm a really good teammate.
Never look better, Kate.
What?
Well-groomed panel. Oh, my goodness.
That Lindrum, oh, my, Kate. Oh, my. Oh, my.
Looking great, Kate.
Taking one
Always.
for the team.
All 4 of you.
I seriously thought about doing that like 2 years ago.
Halftime coming up. We'll hear from the panel. Collaros in the play fake. And he finds Drew Wolotarski.
He's what?
First down, close to the 30.
Great throw. Drew's got to help him out. Continue to work back to the football, Drew. Got to work back to this. You know that. That knifes it in there, trusting you. Don't let that guy come underneath. Just keep working. Needless to say, tough catch. Make it easier. Work back.
Winnipeg is 156 yards net offense, and about half of it on this drive, 78 yards so far at the 31 BC. Trying to answer back before halftime. Faking it to Oliveira. Rolling right and completing it for another first down. Here they come.
Watch this
Wolotarski again.
Yeah, Wolotarski, boy, I like the pre-snap. Yeah, watch him pre-snap movement. Watch him down here. Watch him move. He's moving that defender, getting him where he wants to, and watch him stem him. Boom, outside, straighten him up, get him out of his back paddle. Love it. It's a great route. Drew Wolotarski getting her done. Back-to-back plays.
All those early carries by Oliveira, and play action seems to work a little better too for Winnipeg. Top handing off, and it's Nick Dembski, the ball carrier, as number 10 gets it down to the BC 10.
Sweet feet. Watch his feet. Just watch his feet. Just concentrate on number 10's feet if you can. Yeah, well, his feet are just moving. Oh, man. I love that. Fun to watch, man. Jack of all trades.
One of the many interesting wrinkles
them all.
you see, Matty, from that Bomber offense. Dembski, most of the time catching footballs, but every now and then.
Sprinkle that in there.
Yeah, used to carry it too in a second and short. Drew Brown in, second effort. Now Peters wraps him and pushes him back, but he just needed inches on that second effort. Looks like Brown should have enough for a Bomber first down. See where they spot it.
This is, yeah, it's plenty. Yeah, right. This is a great end to the first half. Guys just going at it. Uncharacteristic, a lot of penalties, but you can kind of understand that a little bit. Both teams know what's at stake here. First in the West, and kind of bragging rights early in the season, but they can punch it in here somehow, lock this up at halftime.
It is a 1st and 10. And a golden chance here for the Bombers to tie this game for halftime. Clock ticking.
4-2 set, Rodney. I love that.
Here we go. 4 on the left. Polaris with time. Looks to the right into the end zone. No. Close for Wolotarski. Peters was there, but it's incomplete. 2nd and goal coming up.
Zach thought he had holding on Wolotarski. He thought that Gary Peters was holding him, and Gary Peters told us that this is when he's at his best right here. He's the hardest to contain. Well, that's a nice knockdown by Gary, but we didn't see what happened prior to that, and that's what Zach was looking for, was a little hold, but Gary got away with it, and a nice play.
Peters at the end, though, you're right, just got his hand on it to prevent Wolotarski from grabbing it. A 2nd and goal. 10th play of the drive coming up. Bombers still haven't found the end zone in this game. Colares stepping up and gets taken down by Sione Tehema. It's the 3rd time in this game the BC Lions defense has sacked Zach Colares.
Yeah, this is just getting it done up front. He's right here, folks. Watch him inside. Says hello to Zach Colares. Right around the big man, Jeff Gray. Introduce myself to number 8 one more time. That's a good stop right there by the BC Lions, giving them a chance to go in at halftime with the lead, forcing a field goal here by Steele.
Impressive drive by Winnipeg, but they will have to settle for 3. Sergio Castillo.
That stings, I tell you. You get knock on the door like that. It's been tough sledding the first 30 minutes, and you don't punch it in. Well, that stings going into halftime.
Jamison Sheehan to put it down at the BC 21. And Castillo, 2 for 2 in the night, 7 for 7 on the season. But BC, with 49 seconds to go until halftime, still lead this ball game, now 10-6.
Yeah,
I like those Office promos we have, because the kids used to watch all the Office episodes too. There's a free plug there for the Office as well, and the Idol. Late first half, complete over the middle, and a deep ball to Lucky Whitehead. Back in the BC lineup, with his presence being felt in this one. Whitehead with his 5th catch of this game.
I can't tell you how difficult of a throw this is. Lucky Whitehead coming left to right. There's really no place that this ball could have been, but other than where it ended up. That's a beautiful throw by VA. Great anticipation, trust in Lucky Whitehead. That's getting it done right there, swapping the field, wanting to put more points on before half.
From the Winnipeg 41, and it goes back to Hollins. Alexander Hollins, the moves he's making there on Dietrich Nichols to pick up 4 or 5 more yards after that. And the Lions very quickly late in the half are easily in field goal range.
Just a curl route, nobody's covering him, give it to him, and then Hollins does the rest. They say he's the best route runner on the team, and that's a team full of great receivers, and Hollins is making a lot of people miss in that secondary.
Whitehead and Hollins combining for 10 of Adams' 11 completions. Adams takes off, and he slides. And there's 16 16 seconds to go until halftime. BC's getting deeper in that Winnipeg zone.
Have plenty of time here. Get 3 at least, maybe even 4 depending on how they play out. But
timeout, BC.
BC wants to talk it over here on 2nd and medium, 2nd and 4. Let VA catch his breath. Get the right play call.
Interesting, Matty, the end of the first half. Last week at Mosaic, the Riders were trailing by 10, and time was winding down, and they ended up scoring a touchdown. We were thinking maybe get 3, but they ended up getting 7. And then they started the second half and had a good start for a touchdown to actually take the lead on Winnipeg.
VA doing everything he can. He's earning his money. He's running the water bottle out there to his O-line.
What do you call that? Watering the big guys, right?
Hey, keep them watered down, whether it's during the game or after.
Take care of
them. Just make sure those big boys are looked after.
16 seconds. 2nd and 3 at the Winnipeg 18. Adams to the end zone. And no, incomplete. And it's Justin McInnes, the intended receiver. They say it is a catch. And a beautiful one at that. Getting his feet down. Thought initially they said no. Justin McInnes, who's had a couple of great catches with his new team, the BC Lions.
Yeah, Justin McInnes is to your left side. He's out of your picture. Watch him go get it. Why not? 6'6". 5-point it. Got 9 seconds left. Plenty of time here. I get VA out and around. Winnipeg looks like they're bringing a lot of folks here.
Great catch, McInnes, to set him up. 1st and goal, Winnipeg 2. Touchdown, Lions. Alexander Hollins. The last play of the first half, and what a way to end it for the road team, the BC Lions, here in Winnipeg.
First 30 minutes go to the BC Lions. Stop down on the other end of the goal of the field, and then here VA hits a quick slant to Hollins, the best player by far on the field the first 30 minutes. He goes down and gets it. So let's take it to the house. Let's go talk about it. There he is, top of your screen. It's a quick slant. Ball's going to be low. 0's on the clock. That's how we get it done here in the Peg. Nice throw by VA. He knows where he's going. Oh, boy, he dropped his throwing angle and everything. He's got nasty with that. That was sweet.
5 plays, 70 yards for the touchdown. Their 2nd touchdown of the night, BC. And Alex Hollins and Lucky Whitehead, a big part of this story. And McInnes with that first catch tonight, mentioning it a big one in Calgary in week 1. 16 yards, but that set them up. And Vernon Adams has got this team rolling. His number's 13 of 15. For 164 yards and a touchdown.
On the clock. 2 seconds on the clock, please.
So I said last play of the first half, there were 0s, and now they ask the timer to put 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
Of course, inconsequential with the point after anyway. But they do add the 2 seconds.
See if Sean White
afterwards.
Can extend this lead.
The point after. High snap put down by Flintoff, and it breaks back in. 17-6, so an 11-point lead for the visiting BC Lions as halftime beckons here in Winnipeg.
Not a bad spot to get 2 points back on the board because you've got Janarian Grant back there, right, on this return?
Yeah, I said inconsequential in terms of the time for the point after, but not inconsequential if Grant gets the ball in his hands.
Exactly. I'm just thinking that BC is going to try to do everything not to get it.
I can't imagine them kicking it deep and letting number 80 get near it.
Yeah, but watch McInnes go up here and catch this. Arkansas State product. He's tall, folks. I'm telling you, he's Holmes is not even anywhere in the vicinity. He comes up through, tries to punch it out, but he hauls it down. Won't let that ball come out of his mitts. I don't know if he ever secured that.
Well, that's the thing. I thought initially they said no as we see it on the turf.
But I can see what you saw there.
Yeah, not challenged, though, and they moved right up to a 1st and goal.
Yes. That's one that got away right there because I don't think he secured that, but needless. It's a 10-point lead. 11.
It's a pretty stunning night so far.
I think so.
But it would be more stunning, as said, to see Janarian Grant touch the football right now. Pooching it up higher, letting the intermediate returners have a crack at it.
Johnny Augustine.
That's Johnny Augustine with it, and that will end a very interesting first half. The Bombers, as Kate Burness had mentioned, have not lost to a Western team here since 2018. BC hasn't won here since 2017. Got a lot of football left to play, but the Lions have acquitted themselves very well so far, leading this one 17-6. And pressure too, Maddie, from the defensive front, and a blitzing linebacker, Manny Rugamba as well, who had a sack, and Matthew Betts had a sack, and here is Betts now with John Liu.
Matthew, you sacked Zach Collaros 3 times. You hold the Bombers' offense without a major. What's been behind your success in that first half?
Just effort. We're playing together. It's 1 half. We got to run it back. That's it.
How much momentum or confidence are you as a defensive unit carrying from last week, tossing a shutout against Edmonton?
I don't know if it comes from last week, but I think since we got hit together for training camp, we feel comfortable and just want to play some good football, so that's what we'll do.
Thanks for this, Matthew. Let's send it back to Kate and the panel back in the studio.
And what a first half. It was a buzzer beater in the CFL for the BC Lions. Back alongside Dave Naylor, Paul LaPolice, and Milt Stiegel. And we got ourselves a 17-6 football game. And we talked about coming into this one and how VA would fare against this Bombers defense. And my goodness, he stole the show in the first half. He's 13 of 15. He's got 164 yards. He's got 1 TD in that drive at the end. We thought we might be talking about that Bombers drive, but instead we are sitting here talking about Vernon Adams and that offense.
Well, how about his comment to start, like when they had him up from the day before, and he says, what are your memories about this? No, I don't. None.
No good.
Well, he's making a good memory right now. You know, it started out early on. The 2 underthrown balls helped them, guys, right? They gave them good field position, and one put him in the end zone. But he had some decent drives, right? I thought he moved the ball and kept it out of Winnipeg's hands early on, right? And then this third drive, right before the half, what they did, beautiful throws, located the ball. I mean, and let's Whitehead right there goes up and makes a beautiful catch, right? McInnes makes a beautiful catch, right? And then I guess this is Hollings, right? Hollings makes that touchdown catch there. So, you know, he's doing a great job. He hasn't turned the ball over, right? He's got a rush, a little bit of running ability, but I think he's commanding the offense and doing a great job, especially in a place that's got crowd noise and all those other things, right?
So, well, I mean, look, this is a really strong performance by the BC Lions in the first half. But one of the things, if you're going to knock off the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in Winnipeg, you can't beat yourself, and you can't do things to open the door. And there are a couple of plays here that BC, well, dumb plays, when they were both on second down plays that would have led to punts by the Bombers. This one, Woody Barron with a roughing the passer play when it was an obvious play, takes him and rides him right to the ground, finishes him up right in front of the official. That's going to get the flag. Then later, Quincy Mosier hits Dalton Schoen. I mean, that ball is gone behind him. The play is over. Now, I say those 2 plays, both extended Bomber drives. They only led to a total of 3 points. But as they try to protect this 11-point lead in the second half, don't do that stuff, because that will open the door for Winnipeg.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't come back to bite them. But one thing they are doing, they are biting these Winnipeg Blue Bombers offensively. That defense is playing well. Yeah, we saw Winnipeg has that last drive of the half where they put up 3 points. But besides that, these guys have been playing. And you think about it, the Blue Bombers, the #1 offense in the league by far, averaging over 43 points a game. But these BC Lions said, not this first half. 3 sacks. They're getting after Zach. They're putting some bodies on these receivers, making some plays, intimidating them. And they're going to have to continue this because we know what type of quarterback Zach is in that offense, and Buck Pierce being the offensive coordinator. We know they can come out in this second half and dominate. But this first half, Ryan Phillips and his offense has been doing a fabulous job.
Dave, you talk about, dumb plays and everything. I was really happy the officials picked up that flag for the
on the second passer.
That's what replay's for.
That's exactly what the eye in the sky is for. Exactly.
Yeah, they do a really good job of that. And Brady Oliveira's had a nice game.
I'd like to see them, commit to him a little more, because the first 3 plays of the game were all Brady Oliveira gashes, and they went away from it. Every time they've come back to it, he's been ripping off 5, 7, 8 yards at a time.
Yeah, no, and we all looked at the first drive and we're like, oh, he's healthy. He's okay.
For a game time decision, he's looked pretty good.
But by the way, no one mentioned that my hair's back, but you know what?
It's not your hair, Kate. We've seen your real hair.
Stiegel.
It's not your hair.
A lot more real than yours is. We've got plenty more coming up after the break, including the latest on how we think Matthew Schultz will fare. Don't be jealous. We'll behave. Your Week 3 schedule coming up on Friday Night Football. We have the Montreal Alouettes taking on the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Pregame beginning at 7 Eastern, kickoff at 7:30. I was just told there is no pregame. I'm not working, so it really doesn't matter to me, does it?
Thanks, kid.
Rough Riders taking on the Stampeders on Saturday. It all wraps up with the Argonauts taking on the Edmonton Elks. You can see that 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. I'm being told there's no pregame for that one either. I'll be back to work, so I do care about that one. When it comes to the Hamilton Tiger Cats, though, I think we can all agree this was not the start that they wanted, that Bo Levi Mitchell wanted, and now he'll be watching this one, albeit dressed, though. But Matthew Schultz starting for the Tiger Cats after Bo went down in the last game. Schultz came in 13 of 14, 118, 1 TD. It was a little too much, a little too late, but he did look a little more comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, we debate when we see a guy come in the fourth quarter of a game, and like Matt Dunnigan calls it, points after beatdown, right? Garbage time, things like that. But 13 of 14, you know, in practice is pretty good. So,
that's impressive.
You know, it's impressive. He's obviously got some, you know, some connections, some chemistry with the offense. He's been in it longer. That's the one thing you would look at over Bo Levi Mitchell that Matthew Schultz gives you, is he was there last season. Same coaching staff, a lot of the same receivers, offensive line. Maybe that comfort is there. I think this team just needs kind of a win to calm things down, because everyone knows what this year was about. They pushed their chips to the middle of the table. They're hosting the Grey Cup. And it hasn't looked like they expected to look the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, and I think your point about he knows the system and everything. You know, Tommy Condell will put a package together for him that has some run game guys. You know, he's got the ability to use his legs with his quarterback draws, things like that. So he can create with his legs at times, and I think that's important. And he's just got to. They just got to get good decisions at that quarterback position. Like a couple of those interceptions really hurt them the last couple of weeks. Just got to make good decisions with football. Let the defense take care of business. Get some run game going, and they'll be in a good spot.
And Coach Steinauer talked about this is why we signed him back, you know, just in case, you know, that opportunity comes about where your starting quarterback gets hurt. You want to have a guy who's played in the league, and he's played in the league. You know, I think this is his fifth year, and you know he want to have a great game against his former team, and he needs to go out there and do it. Home opener, there's a lot of things that are going in his favor, and Bo Levi Mitchell was not playing his best, and now you have a guy who's getting an opportunity, and the question you have to ask yourself is, if he goes out there and lights it up, what happens when Bo Levi Mitchell is healthy?
Yeah, there's no timeline on Bo's return. Orlando Steinauer this week not willing to project that. So, I mean, the other thing about Matthew Schultz is he's not a guy who's had his own problem staying healthy in his career. And they got Taylor Powell behind him, who's never played. So job number one is to get Matthew Schultz through that game healthy.
Milt Stiegel out here starting rumors already. What would happen?
That's my job.
I know. So I get paid the big bucks.
I haven't got paid yet, Kay. What are you talking about? You guys getting paid?
I am also volunteering.
I didn't know that.
Hilarious. Some great-looking first-half stats. What do you see, Paul Lapalisse?
Well, it's pretty even, right, guys? Passing yards, rushing yards, a little bit more for the Bombers, but the big one for me, 6 penalties, 79 yards for the Bombers. What I'm looking for, who's going to make a takeaway in the second half, Mill? Which defense is going to take the ball away, or get some takeaways for their offense, create a short field?
That's all you got, Stiegel? Wow.
I thought it was a rhetorical question, Coach.
Halftime in Winnipeg, and the visiting BC Lions lead at 17-6. Here's John Liu now with Winnipeg running back Brady Oliveira.
Brady, what are your points of emphasis for trying to get the better of that tough BC defense in the second half?
Yeah, no, we just got to, play our type of football. We went in there, made some mistakes, went in there, corrected it, and we just got to come out here and play a cleaner half and just stay to who we are, be true, and go out there and play Bomber football.
You personally, you were running hard, you were making plays, certainly didn't look like a game-time decision. So can you take us through the last few days where you weren't practicing and were questionable up until game time?
Yeah, I guess, my coaches and teammates just want me to be a little bit cautious. I know that I got to be out here for them, and that's what I did during the week, made sure that I was healthy enough to come out here and to play, 100% physical football.
Thanks for this, Brady.
Thank you.
And to think of how explosive Winnipeg's offense has been this season, Matty, BC's defense has only allowed 1 touchdown in 30 drives this season up against Calgary. Of course, the shutout last week against Edmonton, and no touchdowns yet for Winnipeg. A couple of field goals.
Yeah, and we're told that drive, just jogging our memory, was Jake Mayer to Trey Odom's Dukes a long time ago.
Back in week 1. In this week 3 game, the second half has begun. Terry Williams and surrounded and taken down just across the 20 for Vernon Adams. A very strong first half again for Adams.
Yeah, and just enough of Taquan Mizell to free up VA to do what he does, and he spread it around. He threw some darts, and I really think that young man right there, Alexander Hollins, has been phenomenal, picking up the slack with Dominic Rhymes out of the lineup. Keon Hatcher, we hadn't seen him yet this year. Yes, you get Lucky Whitehead, but VA has spread it around considerably and done it like he's been doing it a long, long time.
So the Lions start the second half with an 11-point lead with the football and starting at their 24. The play fake to Mizell, and the pass is incomplete. Bounces down in front of Des Lawrence, second down.
Yeah, he goes right back to Hollins. Hollins coming left to right on your screen, and VA just couldn't find him. And he's coming, here he comes, he's going to come flying in right across here, and watch him get knocked off course by a linebacker coming across right there. Just a little jam right there, and VA got nothing. Throws that to nowhere land.
Just the third incompletion of this game for Adams, who's 13 of 16, second and 10. Completes that one in a crowd to McInnes. That's his second catch. The first one, a really important one that got them down to the red zone, a first down BC.
Yeah, this is a pretty simple route. How do you miss this target? Holmes in hot pursuit, but just got to play him tighter than that. Second and 10. Take that all day. That's a big target. Can't miss that one.
Started with the Riders. His first year with BC. McInnes, first and 10 at the 38. The toss now to Mizell. Tries to get around. Malik Clements, he does. Breaking a tackle and more. Down the sideline he goes. Another Lions first down on the ground. Taquan Mizell.
Yeah, just love this whole concept, play call. Little hesitation, little underneath, possibly flick it out to Mizell, and then watch him split two defenders. He just put Clements right on his heels, shakes 15 out of his boots. And I want to see 2-5 in open field. We hadn't seen that. That's the closest we've seen in 3 weeks or 2.5 games of football. Mizell breaking one. I want to see him, see what he can do in open field.
6 carries, 39 yards in this one. Another completion to McInnes. Well, so a couple of catches on this drive, and then another Lions first down.
Yeah, VA told us earlier in the week that he wants to start feeding the ball to Javon Catoy, but because he's a big target. There he is right here, top of your screen, folks. He's going to go down there and sit in the hole. Use his big body, screen anybody off. Come out of your break, keep coming back. Yeah, Jordan McSimic is all over it. VA and him are feeling it right now. I'll call him, you execute it.
From the Winnipeg 38, back on the ground to Mizell, taken down by Adam Bighill.
Adam Bighill is just, yeah, he's like, enough of this guy running around all over the place. Adam Bighill right here on your screen. He's got to go. Go get him. Go get him. Yes, sir. Oh, that's closing. He's got to be inching towards Solomon Elimimian and surpassing him. Just needed 7 to come in and tie.
His old Team 100 teammate back in their BC Lions day.
Yeah, these guys are...
Whistles out, some early movement there on the line. Willie Jefferson says it's against BC. We'll see.
Yeah, he needed 7 coming in. Solomon's at 8:33. So Biggie's going to get his chance to get there tonight.
Procedure.
He's just 3 away
BC number 69.
from tying Solomon Elimimian, who is incredible Hall of Famer.
Jarrell Broxton, the left tackle for the Lions, lining up over Willie Jefferson, gets flagged.
Right? I'd be a little anxious too, big man. That guy coming at me, he's a beast. Broxton trying to get an early start. Why not?
Ball on the right hash. 2nd and 12 at the Winnipeg 41. Blitz coming.
See ya.
Adams gets away. Lots of room to run to. Vernon Adams. A rare run this season, not running the way we're used to seeing, but that is another big one. Adams on the ground, a first down inside the Winnipeg 20.
Yeah, he just doesn't have to use this very often. Just watch and sit and enjoy. Watch Vernon's path to success here. Little twist game up front, feels it off the edge, tucks it down, knows his routes and what's going to anticipate there. Alexander, an open field. He can do this whenever he wants to, and I think that's what separates him from most quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League. He's just that superior of an athlete, and he's been slinging it all over the yard too, so tough to stop that, Winnipeg.
The Lions finish the first half with a touchdown. They're starting the second, threatening, but not on this play. All tied up. It is Celestin Haba, new to the Winnipeg roster, with a big sack in week 1, another last week, and Haba is the one to wrap up Adams.
Yeah, he's 2-point stance right here, number 45. They talk about a quick study and his move off the line. He didn't really have one there. He just got up underneath the pads and leveraged the right tackle for the BC Lions and leveraged Perkins and said, get out of my way.
He's getting the start with the injury to Jackson Jeffcoat, who's on the 6-game injured list. And he's doing a good job standing in for Jeffcoat. 2nd and 18, Winnipeg 26. Deep ball, end zone. McInnes can't come down with it. Lawrence in the coverage, and a 3rd down, a field goal try will be coming up for the Lions.
Did he try to catch that ball by his chest? That guy's 6'5", 6'6". There he is, top of your screen. Just going to run a little go route. Straight down the field. Go get it. Go get it. High point it. High point it. He tried to get up there. It's a nice play. That's a lot of receiver you got to cover right there. Lawrence did a nice job.
He did. Guinness got his hands on it, but Lawrence with the play, White with the kick. And 3 more on the board on that field goal by Sean White.
I know a little disappointing if you're BC Lions, but boy, put 3 on the board at half and go up 14.
Well, they want to avoid the word statement.
Yes.
But they are making a statement now, whether they like it or not, as they increase their lead to 14.
Yeah, I talked about it. Ryan Phillips' defense against Buck Pierce's offense. And there you got Betts, Matthew Betts getting one. Got Regamba coming off the edge, scot-free getting one. And inside you got Tehima getting one here. Just getting off blocks. Getting to the quarterback, sometimes not even blocked. Just masterful job by this defense. Rod, to reiterate, 1 touchdown drive in 30 this year.
And that was to Calgary in week 1.
Crazy.
Held the Stampeders to 15 points. Didn't allow a point last week. Only 6 on the board. Bombers on that first down. Nick Dembski has it up near the 45.
Just like an extended handoff here. Dembski just sits up there at 5, picks up like 4 coming back to the ball. I gave him 5. Zach will see that all day. If it presents itself, we saw him in the first half. Double tights, ball got knocked down. Buck Pierce trying to get something going here against a tough BC Lions defense.
Bombers have certainly been able to move the ball. Driven down the field a couple of times, but with field goals to show for it. Blitz coming. And do they have him again? Matthew Betts again. His 2nd of the night, and that is his 4th of the season, as that BC defense at times has been relentless in their pressure.
Yeah, you got Laddick right here, and you got Betts right in front of him, and it's going to be a two-win game right here. Betts is going to go inside, Laddick on the outside, and that is number 4 for the BC Lions defense. Ryan Phillips continues to call a great game, pressure, and Zach Collaros in the Bomber offense.
Second 2 and out in this one for Winnipeg. Jamison Sheehan inside the 30, and there was a lot of pressure on him to get that away. BC came close to blocking it. Terry Williams with the ball, and a flag comes out as he gets it up to the Lions 30. Matthew Betts going to work along with his Lions teammates and taking Collaros down for his second time. The Lions penalized on that punt return. There's their special teams coordinator, our friend and former colleague Mike Benavides, whose family has had a very difficult week. His wife Judy's father and longtime Edmonton fan Ian Cabral passed away. Ian had attended many games during the glory days of Edmonton's Grey Cup dynasty of 5 in a row. And just the next day after that, another loss. Close friend and longtime CFL fan Carol Hope McCaig, very close friend to Judy. Our condolences to Mike, to Judy, and her whole family as well. We're thinking of you. From the BC 12, Vernon Adams completes another. No, it bobbles out right into the hands of McInnes, who couldn't hang on that time.
Never gave up on the play. Got his mitts in there. McInnes is right here. He's going to ease out in that area out there. Going to be passed off. Yeah, just never give up on it. Big boy caught it and knocked it out. Absolutely love that.
Dietrich Nichols coming in, forcing it out.
Third-year player from South Florida.
2nd and 10 at the Lions 12. Flags out. Adams deep. Deep. Whitehead has it. No. Lucky Whitehead. But the flag was out beforehand.
VA was pressured on the play, climbed the pocket, and then just hurled one down the middle of the field, and Lucky went and got it. Had to dive for it at the end. We'll take a look at it after we sort this out.
Offside. BC number 7. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And it's Whitehead who gets the offside flag.
Typically, you know when you're offsides. They just kept scooting down the middle of the field, and Vernon found him. That's a tough one. Would have got him out of, would have flipped the field in a hurry.
5 further back inside the 10. And it's a 2nd and 15 now with that offside penalty from their 7. Leading by 14. Pinned deep in their zone. Halfway through the 3rd quarter. Adams has time. Airs it out again to the right, and he gets Hollins. Huge first down to get them out of trouble. BC Lions, and another connection between Vernon Adams and Alex Hollins.
He's made some throws today, man. I'm a believer. Vernon Adams, this throw is just spot on. Underneath his goal post, and just throws a dart out to Hollins again. The timing was unbelievable. Ball's got to be in the air. That's a 45-yard throw there, right on the money. Delivered on time, moving them out of big-time hole, backed up deep in their end. Not anymore.
7 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown for Alexander Hollins. Mizell with the ball. Nowhere to run. Wave after wave, and Adam Bighill finishes it off.
That's it. It was Clements, then it was Willie Jefferson, and then you got Bighill finishing you off. It's like relentless. Bombers defense trying to hang on here. Keeps from field position. Biggie inching closer. 8:31.
What an outstanding career that man has had, Adam Bighill, and his coach, defensive coordinator Richie Hall.
I came in with Richie in the league.
Yeah, he had a great playing career.
Yeah, he did. Unbelievable.
2nd and 11, BC 29. The pressure coming again, and that time closest, but the punting unit will come on. So that Winnipeg defense ultimately does its job. They're down 2 touchdowns, but the Bombers are going to get the ball back.
Yeah, pocket was collapsing. You got Haba coming off the edge, Biggie coming up, looking like he's hungry, wants some ribs, and then, you know, you just got to throw the ball off your back foot, and it's not spotted where you need it. And Winnipeg bowled their next, Rod.
Stephen Flintoff, the BC punter. Janarian Grant inside the 30. Spins away for a moment. Breaks another couple of tackles. Gets it up across the 35. Collaros and the Bombers have some work to do in the third quarter. And now we present our Coors Light moment of chill. Matt Denigan likes to say, got to water down those big guys. Look at Vernon Adams coming on, making sure his guys got some water. And Matty, then Adams goes to work.
Got enough gas in the tank. Just putting it in there. That was a nice drive at the end of the half.
And he's had some time too, hasn't he? Collaros. Oh, big hit by Sales on that reception. As Rugamba, even though the whistle's gone, just takes it all the way into the end zone. But Collaros rolling out to his right. And Sales, the former Bomber, got a ring with Winnipeg in 2019 with a big play.
But we got some video work going on here. Zach Collaros is going to point fake, get up the outside. We got that covered. Here we got Williams right there. And then, no, you want to dish it out here? Sales says, oh, I got that. Ryan Phillips got these boys dialed in. Well, they're all in the Winnipeg's playbook right now.
Brady Oliveira. They had time to catch his breath, turning around, and there was Sales. Hitting him hard. Second down and 10. Back to Oliveira. Flags down. He gets it up across the Winnipeg 45. And that second down play, still shy of a first by the looks of things, and as mentioned, a penalty down in that area.
I think they might get Kolanowski or an offensive lineman for holding out here in front of the screen.
Holding. Winnipeg number 68.
No.
10-yard penalty. Still second down.
It was
Jeff Gray, the left guard.
Yeah. I mean, those big boys in space, you know, and they take up a lot of space, but, you know, those little guys are trying to block. They're hard to hang on to. So those arms get out in the open, and it was just you know, it's tough to do. Believe me, that's a big old field out there with a lot of speed, and you're a big boy in space, you're going to grab something.
Second and 20, back at their 27. Flag out. And another hold against Winnipeg as Collaros is taken down again. That's David Menard. He's been known to get his fair share of sacks over the years.
And Rod, number 51. Penalties decline.
Rod,
it's third down.
Rod, that was a three-man rush. Three-man rush. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's right here. It's three-man rush. This can't happen. It's second and 20, and all heck's breaking loose. BC's just owning this quarter.
And that is the 5th time the Lions have sacked Zach Collaros on this night. David Menard picking up his first of the season.
Menard's going to get his.
Oh, yeah, he had 9 last year. He had a bunch before that with the Alouettes, too, in his 1 year back in Montreal. So
he had a hustle play last week and went over Edmonton. Came all the way across the field, fended off 2 blocks, and came in and made a fumble recovery. Just phenomenal play. I'm telling you, Ryan Phillips is on point tonight. They got 20 more minutes. They hang on. This has been pretty impressive right now. He is in Buck Pierce's offensive playbook, and that was done with 3-man pressure, forcing this punt.
Well, this game is long from over, but so far this Lions defense is real. We wondered one thing against Calgary and one thing against Edmonton with that shutout. How would they do against Winnipeg? So far, Ryan Phillips and company doing very well as Winnipeg deep in their zone. Sheehan's going to have to punt it away.
So look at Ryan Phillips on sidelines having fun with his boys because he wants them to have fun. He wants them to dance when they make plays.
Crowd starting to get frustrated here at IG Field as well. With a flag out before the snap of the ball.
Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful night for football, and the BC Lions are playing better football right now than the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Fans are getting a little ornery. They're not used to this.
No, they're not.
They're spoiled.
They've only lost
4:53 on the clock.
2 of their last 29 at home.
It's ridiculous.
4:53.
That's just dominance.
Sheer dominance, but not on this night. Not at this point.
Some kinks in the armor for sure.
Sheehan from his end zone after the penalty. BC will have the ball in great shape. Williams inside the 40. So Vernon Adams will come on again. And they're already in field goal range. BC leads it by 14. It's been the trademark of a Mike O'Shea team. Fewest penalties in the CFL, only 4 per game. Well, Matt, this is a real change on this night. 8 times they've been penalized so far for 84 yards.
Seems like a lot. It'd be a good night for a lot of clubs, but not a Mike O'Shea-led football team. And when it's not the norm and it happens in less than 3 quarters, it's different. You feel it. It's like, oh, man, this is sloppy. And there's only one thing you can do about it is stay in the moment, forget about it, and fix it from this point forward.
Of course, a lot of those yards came in that first touchdown drive by BC on 2 pass interference calls.
Alexander Hollins making that happen with his route running and his speed. He's had a game here tonight.
The Lions take over in the Winnipeg 37. 2-touchdown lead. Vernon Adams quickly to work again. And that's Aiden Eberhard. Eberhard with his first catch of this game. He had one last week, too, in his debut against the Edmonton Elks.
Yep. His 4th catch of the season, first-year player from Wyoming. Getting involved. Yeah, I'm telling you, he's spreading it around. Don't fall asleep, because with that guy's mobility, anybody can see the football.
Dominic Davis in. Short yardage BC on a 2nd down at the Winnipeg 28. Davis left side. More. Ball comes out. Looks like he gets it back. What a break that would be for the Lions. Yes, indeed. Still their football and a 1st down as they get closer to the 20.
Well, that's the play you want back if you're Winnipeg. Ball's on the ground. Dominic Davis only handling it every now and then. 6'4", 215-pounder pops out right there. You're scrambling like your life depends on it. He gets it back.
He gets it back. Lions drive continues.
It's like ricochet in golf. You got to be lucky sometimes to be good. Get a good bounce. That was a good bounce for BC.
Play fake. Deeper luck. Incomplete. Intended for Lucky Whitehead as they missed the chance to pick up another 1st down.
Yeah, it's Durami Soiree over there. Nice coverage. Really nice coverage. One-on-one coverage all over that route. In a position to pick that. That's what you want there. 2nd and long. Force this field goal. Maybe get a turnover right here for the Bombers trying to get back in this.
Second and 10. It's complete. Down closer to the 15, still well shy of a 1st down. Eberhard again. And looks like Castile will be coming on to make this a 3-score game. Chance to move it to 17 points. So important field goal try coming up here.
Yeah, you know, I just love how they're helping out. They line him up here close to the line of scrimmage so he can go to war at the line of scrimmage and not get knocked off on his keister, because he's picking up Malik there. And he does it at the line of scrimmage, so he's not right in the quarterback's lap. Gives VA a chance to complete that ball.
Sean White, the veteran. 3 for 3. Yeah, it's good. 3 more on the board. And a 17-point lead for the BC Lions. Winnipeg ball. Under 2 minutes until three-quarter time in the hands of Nick Dembski. Ben Hladek has him wrapped up.
What is he doing way out there? I mean, he's standing in the middle of the football field. Next thing you know, he's right on top of Dembski catching a hitch pass. Hladek's all over the place. Love this guy's side-to-side lateral movement. Yeah, he's just beautiful.
Limits Dembski to a gain of 4 on that reception. Second and 6. Deep ball. Knocked away. Intended for Schoen. TJ Lee is there.
TJ has a little experience there because he was just watching Schoen's eyes because he never once looked back at the ball, and he timed his swat perfectly. Schoen just on his horse. Lee flips his hips and runs with him, feels him with his hands, and just timed it perfectly. It's a nice play. Ball's thrown out there. Schoen doesn't have to stop if it's thrown in rhythm deep enough. Could be a big play. Zach didn't get it out there.
One of the veteran leaders of this BC Lions team in his 9th year out of Eastern Washington, TJ Lee. The punt by Jamison. And it rolls out of bounds inside the 20. What a game for Alexander Hollands.
Yeah. You have him in fantasy. You're pretty excited about this right now. No Dominic, no Keon, no problem. You got Hollands, Whitehead, Aberhart, Toy, McInnes. Oh, you got Vernon Adams making it happen.
A lot of it was in the first half when Adams almost exclusively was targeting Hollands and Lucky Whitehead. Spreading it around a little bit more. BC at their 19, leading by 17. Mizell picks up more yardage for the leading rusher in the CFL early in this season.
And you got that guy. You know, I just, you know, he's a little light, you know, and we've seen him have some problems. He's willing enough to ease up in there and take on those linebackers. Got a full head of steam. He's got knocked back a few times. I pointed out last series, got him up to close to the line of scrimmage, so it creates vision for the quarterback in case he does get knocked over.
A quieter night overall, 8 carries, 47 yards. And Hollands going backwards, but keeps his feet.
That pursuit, inside out, Rod. Oh, man.
And that is the end of the third quarter. And the most stunning sight would be the point total through 3 for Winnipeg. Still standing at 6. They got a lot of work to do in the final 15. Look at the numbers through 3 quarters and see the difference looming now. Winnipeg scored 42 in week 1, 45 last week in Saskatchewan, Matty. That Lions defense is a big part of the story tonight.
It really is, and they're flipping that time of possession, which will pay off dividends in the fourth quarter. And that was something that last year the Winnipeg Blue Bombers owned, a little over 34 minutes plus a game when they played the BC Lions controlling the football. BC's flipped the script, and it's the defense because they're getting off the football field and that offense is going to work. Really impressed with all 3 coaches, the defensive line coach, John Bowman, your linebackers coach, Travis Brown, and certainly your DC offensive coordinator, Ryan Phillips. They've got these guys flying, and they've been all over the Winnipeg Blue Bomber offense. Just a tremendous job for 45 minutes.
They could certainly use a big punt return by Janarian Grant now.
Yes.
Flag out. Stays on his feet as he gets up across the 40.
During the return, illegal block, Winnipeg number 84. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Rod, that's just kind of par for the course for the Bombers, just not on their game. O'Leary Orange getting it, and Osh is coaching them up right there because Want to nip that in the butt when you can.
Winnipeg's offense is at 3 2-and-outs in 3 possessions in the second half, 4 total tonight.
Yeah, Ocean's obviously disappointed, but he doesn't show that. He just coaches him up. I thought that was a great moment there for the head coach and young player trying to get her done on teams who got caught.
Collaros to the left, complete. Carlton Agadosi with his second catch of the night.
Another big target on the field. I tell you, man, you look at some of these guys, you get close to them, it's like, what? These guys are giants. Agadosi's 6'6" himself.
He had a great introduction to the CFL last year against Calgary with 70 yards receiving on 6 catches and a couple of touchdowns, but he got hurt. And that was his season. So haven't seen very much of him, but he's made some big plays. Feeling his way along the ground, Brady Oliveira. And in there, take him on. That's Josh Banks.
Looks like a 2-and-out to me.
Needed 3 yards.
Oh, no, they got they're about a yard, a little over a yard away. I thought it was a pretty good spot, too.
Right around the 34.
Better make sure you get this. Drew Brown is tapped in for Zach Collaros.
And no question, given the way this game has gone, for the Bombers, even in their own zone, going for it on the 3rd down. Drew Brown. And little fight here going on. Rated.
That's all that's happening down there, Rod. That's all that's happening. It's just nasty. You've heard me say it before. That's a lot of humanity down there just going nuts.
Right at the bottom of the pile. As they do get a first down, putting it down at the 35.
And to work for it. There's a look at your DC. Ryan Phillips on the left, Buck Pierce on the right. 2 incredible careers. Buck in a little longer than Ryan, but Ryan has got his boys flying around tonight.
So finally this half, Bombers extend the drive. Collaros trying to get away. They're closing in. He does complete the pass. Bola combo right in on Carlton Agadosi.
Yeah, and Zach, you know, it's he's getting dog chased out there right now. He feels it. He feels the heat. Sometimes you feel, you know, your age too, right? You know, remember this guy blew out an ACL.
That was Woody Barron and Amir Siddiqui coming in, bearing down on him.
And those guys are defensive linemen, and they're tracking you down. And that's not a good feeling.
2nd and 9. Bomber 36. They got him again. Deflected the ball as he threw it. And it does fall incomplete, but another 3rd down coming up. What a night for Matthew Betts, who has sacked Collaros a couple of times in this night and messing up his throw that time.
Yeah, he's just getting after it. He's right here. And you talk to John Bowman, defensive line coach, Hall of Famer this year. He goes out and around. Stanley Bryant swats Zach's right arm in motion. Ball comes loose. That's all you got to do. Look at him. Relentless. That's awesome. That's just hustle.
Jamison Sheehan the punt. Terry Williams just across the Lions 30. But the Lions defense continues to be a headliner here in Winnipeg. Relentless. 23-6, 4th quarter BC. Based on what we've seen in the last few years from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at home, this is a stunning development happening now in the 4th quarter.
Morgan Wallen was just about to say there, this ain't over yet, but a good drive can go a long way in making that happen.
Deep ball, good coverage by Evan Holm and Justin McInnes.
That was a great play by Holm. Played that well. Ball was a little bit late, hung up there. Allowed Holmes to get underneath and make a nice play. Left hand behind, right hand over the top. Yeah, he's right here. Check him out. He's going to run a corner route. Watch Holmes slide in behind a big receiver late. Ball hangs up a little bit here. Holmes undercuts him. That's just a hell of a play. Routine.
Adams had some trouble on that snap from Michael Couture, the ex-Bomber. Oh, Lucky Whitehead nearly had a nice catch instead. Down it goes, and a quick 2 and out for Adams and the Lions.
Got a little antsy going in there, I think. Yeah. A good look at Lucky right here. Watch his eyes. Nice route. Create separation there. Felt Biggie coming inside and out. I would too. I would too. Threw him off just a little bit where he couldn't secure it.
Back-to-back 2 and outs for the Lions now. The Flintoff punt.
He's had a good day.
There's Janarian Grant inside the Bomber 20. He looks to get around the corner, but no. Ryder Varga, the rookie, coming in to take him down. Excuse me, second year out of the University of Regina. Dalton Schoen, quiet night by his standards with 1 catch, 16 yards. Winnipeg down 3 scores. The balance of week 3 looks like this. Tamora, Tim Hortons Field in the home opener for the Ticats, who are at 0-2, and Matthew Schultz gets the start at QB against the Owls. Riders Stamps, another battle in the West. That's Saturday, and Argos and the Elks. 1-0 Toronto, 0-2 Edmonton, and these Winnipeg fans, they're used to seeing their team win at home. They're not winning right now, and it's an interception. Ben Hladek. It bobbled out of the hands of Nick Dembski. Hladek takes it back to the Winnipeg 10, and what more is this BC defense going to do tonight?
Yeah, Hladek's right here. He's going to go right to left, which he does a great job of. He sees the receiver. He's tracking him. Ball's tipped just a little bit. He says, I'll take that. Thank you very much. Dempsey gives up in a play. Hladek's going the other way. Tell you, this guy, sideline to sideline, he's playing in the middle for a reason in Ryan Phillips' defense. 46 can play some football. Third-year player from UBC. Oh, man. And Ryan's trying to get him going. He's a pretty level-headed kid. He's taking that ball home with him.
They have reason to smile. That Lions sideline, and Ben Hladek drafted by BC in the 3rd round in 2021. From Vernon, BC, and as you mentioned, Matty, the UBC T-Bird gets it down to Winnipeg 12. Up 17 and looking for more all of a sudden. Vernon Adams, 4-man rush into the end zone. Touchdown! Justin McInnes. And this is a Lion onslaught right here in Winnipeg. Bomber fans must be stunned, and the Bombers themselves, at how this tide has turned in this game.
McInnes going to come right over in this area of the field here. He's a big target, 6'5 plus, left to right. Vernon sees him, spots it out there. Nobody's there. Just it's a catchable ball. Let 18 secure it. He got a long way to go securing that, tucking it into his body with those long arms. He got that one, though. Talk about timely football. Turnover, next play, touchdown.
And that was on the first turnover of the game, and it is kind of fitting, even though the offense of the Lions has had a good night, and that's an offensive touchdown, but kind of fitting it was set up by a big defensive play that put them down close.
Got that right, Rod. And there's McInnes. Watch him. He's going to climb, go over here, and just spot, and he's going to catch a really nice thrown ball by switch motion. Just turned 17 right around. Flipped his hips. Just a little subtle switch motion right there. Lucky comes from inside out, sits down. And now your center field turned to defender. That's all day long. That's easy pitch and catch, taking advantage of the turnover by Ben Hladek and your defense. First one of the night. Lapo called it. Who's going to get the turnover first? BC Lions, and they run away with this one right now.
Vernon Adams. Well,
I love you. To my kids, love you. Mama, hello. Let's go. That's one.
Justin McInnes, first year with BC. Here's Janarian Grant. There we go. Tries to tiptoe that sideline. Trying to make something happen. A big return, Janarian Grant.
At 24-point kickoff return. That's what they need. Don't think that's in the playbook, but that's a heck of a return. Straight up field.
Anything at all to give them a bit of momentum right now. Out of bounds back there. You can see where his foot touched.
24-point hole they're looking at right now. Got to make something happen here in a hurry.
It's one thing for the Bombers to be facing a loss at home field, but down 24. And this is the kind of night it has been. That heat just keeps coming. That's Nathan Cherry. 6th sack of the BC Lions on Zach Collaros tonight.
Really nice. Really nice inside move by Betts, and watch Cherry fill. Betts works hard inside, and Cherry's going to come around the outside and get the sack. Well, it's a really nice job here. Boom, Cherry goes around the outside. Flush him to me. I'll eat that all day.
Nathan Cherry, second year out of the Saskatchewan Huskies. 2nd and 18. Tough night for the Winnipeg offense. Complete to Wolatarski. And they get him after the catch, right around the 50.
You're looking at a 3rd and 9 here, and Winnipeg's going to stay on the field.
Might as well. 24 points. And 8:18 on the clock and counting.
Vladeck in there again. Hey, talking to John Bowman last week prior to that Edmonton game, he telling me about Betts and how he didn't like to move inside. He said you got to develop that. You got to give those guys something to think about. It paid off, not for him, but his teammate in that last play.
Menard nearly got him. Or Thibaut Debaille. And that one is completed as Collaros got away to Dalton Schoen and a first down Winnipeg.
Yeah, how about Zach just hanging in there, casually completing this one. All heck's breaking loose. There's a sieve up front right now. Menard coming on the outside. He's got to step up, throws across his body, finds Schoen, moves the sticks on 3rd and 9.
Flags coming out now.
Procedure. Winnipeg number 51. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first stop.
So Jamarcus Hardrick, the right tackle. They push back 5 yards after that big gain for the first down.
Yeah, uncharacteristic loss. Inevitably here looking at a 24-point deficit, but that's the biggest problem there is 11 penalties, 109 yards.
That's just not what we're used to seeing from Winnipeg. Off the blitz, getting it away, completing that one too. Down inside. For Nick Dembski again inside the 25.
Dembski in front of Gary Peters. I could watch that all day. Watch those two guys go at it, a couple veterans.
Working tempo in the 2nd and short. And pushing along is Brady Oliveira for the first down Winnipeg. They need a touchdown and they need it quickly. Down 24 points.
D lineman for BC's down.
That's Thibaut Debaille. Thursday night football from Winnipeg. We'll be back. We wondered how BC's defense would fare against the great offense led by Zach Collaros. They've been on him all night. 6 sacks in this one total, Matty.
Just doesn't happen very often. Not on number 8's watch. But tip of the hat goes to John Bowman's D-line, Ryan Phillips' defense, calling a great game, putting these guys in a position to make Winnipeg look average.
First down, end zone, bobbled, and well contested too with Gary Peters and Carlton Agudosi.
Yeah, I was glad to see him just let him go there. Jump ball. Agudosi, 6'6" target going out there. Zach's going to try to give him a jump ball, and he does. Peters is up to the task. Almost another pick. Off the tip and deflection. Good pictures right there.
2nd and 10. The Lion 21. Another end zone look for Rashid Bailey against his old teammate Marcus Sales.
Marcus Sales ran that route for Rashid. He had better position to catch that football than Rashid did. As soon as Zach cocked his arm, Sales held that red and was headed towards the corner. Loved that play. Really nice. Watch him right here. He's right there. Gonna run a corner route. Watch Sales top. Watch 14. He flips his hips before the receiver. He's out in front of it. Good football.
3rd down. That's coming. And isn't this typical of the way this night has gone? Another sack for Matthew Betts. And even with 6 minutes to go on the clock, fans starting to leave. They've seen enough. On a 3rd down try with Winnipeg in scoring territory, of course they had to go for the touchdown, but Ryan Phillips' defense rises up again. 7th sack for the Lions.
Betts just having a day. Lions defense saying that's shutout. There he is right here. Watch him do his thing. Another inside move. Oh my God, John Bowman's added some tricks to his bag, and he's emptying it tonight. 4th-year player from Laval, Matthew Betts. Feeling it.
A hat trick of sacks for Betts. 7 for the Lions with the ball. And on the ground is Mizell to let this clock tick away. And they start to celebrate.
At halftime, Betts says, gotta duplicate it, gotta do it again, gotta flip it. Turn it over.
I'm wondering if Betts heard me say as they start to celebrate, because he's looking pretty serious there. This thing isn't over yet.
I think that's just the way he's programmed.
He's deadpan. Well, talking to John Lou.
He's
worth the half. Yeah, we got a game to win here. We'll worry about the fun later. But it's looking awfully good right now.
Oh, there we go.
Well, we got a sack here for Winnipeg. Ricky Walker coming in on Adams. Big Hill is there as well.
There you go. That'll make watching this film tomorrow a little more accessible.
That's the 3rd sack of the night for the Bomber D.
Nice. Let me see. Where's he at? Yeah, he's right here. And he's going to come on the inside. Bull rush. Gets by Suk Chung. Steps on his foot. Injured insult. Then he dances in front of him. That ain't nice.
Coverage unit has done a good job on Janarian Grant as Flintop kicks it shorter, takes a hop, and it is picked up by Nick Hallett.
That's heads-up play. Should draw no yards, shouldn't he?
Didn't see a flag.
Wow.
Hallett taking it on the hop. By the way, these two teams meet twice more in the regular season. Next up, back here, August the 3rd, week 9.
That's right.
And then week 18, October 6th at BC Place.
Yeah, I'm going to do that game.
Well, it makes you wonder. And it's so early, I realize, but it does make you wonder what will be at stake between these two late in the season. The way things have gone tonight. A meeting of unbeatens. And the Lions are on the verge of going to 3-0 as Drew Brown's in at quarterback now for Collaros. 4:01 on the clock in this one. A 24-point lead. And, you know, you think back, Matty, there was a battle of unbeatens between these two. In week 5, the 4-0 Bombers against the 3-0 Lions at BC Place. And Winnipeg went in on short rest on the road and dominated that game.
Yeah, they did. BC says, not today. Going to hang number 2 on Zach Collaros, 19-2 at home. Oh, that's a nice catch.
Drew Brown to Nick Dembski. Brown, by the way, late in the season at BC Place, had a start for the Bombers as they rested Collaros with first place already wrapped up. Got him some experience in that one and what turned out to be a victory for the Lions.
Yeah, 3rd-year player from Oklahoma State. Talked to Drew several times over the years. I expect him to be ready prepared and anxious for a moment like this, whether it's 4 minutes and clean up, just get some reps. First down pass right there in 3rd and 4.
Carlton Agadosi. So one game certainly doesn't diminish all the remarkable things we're talking about in terms of home record alone for that man, Zach Collaros. Absolutely incredible since he came over in 19. And this is just not the kind of night that we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
So that was on a 3rd down gamble, and they do turn it over. They didn't get enough. It'll be BC ball, 3:15 on the clock. They're up at their 50-yard line.
It'll be interesting to see how they respond and what they say after this football game. This doesn't happen very often. The BC Lions have earned every ounce of this victory tonight. Come in here and played clean football and dominated. Flipped the script on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
And there is Dane Evans, a quarterback change for BC as well, as Adams went 20 for 29, 241 and 2 touchdowns, no picks. Evans, of course, well, he played in 2 Grey Cups against Winnipeg as the starting QB for the Hamilton Tiger Cats for a while. He and Jeremiah Masoli. Vernon Adams, little hugs on the sideline and a big win looming. What a night in Winnipeg for the BC Lions. Vernon Adams, TJ Lee, offensive, defensive star, on a night where it's hard to ignore what the defense did. As Adams and a little hug there for Ryan Phillips and John Bowman.
He knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
They did a number tonight, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
And Adams had another impressive game. Evans in, Dane Evans. Oh, it's bobbled, nearly picked off by the Bombers. Reddick Cramdy got a hand on it there.
He's been in a while. I believe because Alden Darby's out of the game, and he's subbing in for Alden, and he was involved in that touchdown with McInnes in the back of the end zone a series back, and that's why we see him out there. But yeah, VA knows where his bread is buttered. Starts with that defense, getting the ball in good field position and keeping Winnipeg out of the end zone. Highest scoring offense in the league, out of the end zone.
What a job they've been doing to it. Janarian Grant. For the most part, the special teams coverage has been excellent for BC as well. David Mackey in on that tackle of Janarian Grant, 2:20 on the clock. Remember that tail of the tape we looked at earlier? Strength against strength so far this season.
Yeah.
Little advantage to the right, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's going to go down if they can hold them out of the end zone.
If you thought an average of 7.5 could actually go down
against
in Winnipeg?
Bombers? What? It's like you threw a house party and it's like, who invited these people?
Wow. I mean, the win is one thing, even winning in dominant fashion, but if they don't allow another point in this game, as Rasheed Bailey takes it on the jet sweep, it picks up 3-4 yards. But if they don't allow another point, their average actually goes down. You think about it, the shutout last Saturday and then 15 on the board for Calgary in week 1.
Yep.
It'll be a sweet trip back to Vancouver, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, yeah. Cool ones after the game. It'll taste that much better. I'm just going to say there might be a few of those.
Yeah, and they're in Toronto. They travel to face the Argos next week. Completed there from Drew Brown to Nick Dembski.
These are yabs now, yards after beatdown. And you don't say that often.
Well, but Winnipeg, you never say it.
No.
You might get yards after you.
Oh, there's a good look at
their own Coors Light moment of chill now.
Might as well.
With this game just about put on ice, Agadosi. So yeah, the Lions next week will take on the Argos, who are in Edmonton this week. And Winnipeg will be in Montreal on Canada Day, July 1st, next Saturday.
This is a workman-like beatdown. They just came in here, not really overhyped. I think as TSN as a sole sponsor, owners of property, it's our property, we're going to hype this game as much as we possibly can. Well, the BC Lions, they came in here
They didn't want to hype it.
Kind of understated.
Yeah.
We're gonna come in and go to work, and they did tonight.
Rick Campbell had said when we talked to him, he doesn't see it as a statement game. It's early. It's week 3.
And it is,
yeah.
but this was an eye opener.
Yeah.
How it affects both clubs is yet to be seen, but man, hats off to the Lions, Rick Campbell.
He looks the same. Is he up 24 or down 24?
He's still coaching, and so is Osh, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Shea be the same way.
I mean, there's a coachable moment right there.
Yeah. By the way, I was going to say about Winnipeg, I remember doing a game in Hamilton last year. It ended up being closer on the board. I think 41-31 against Dane Evans, by the way. But Hamilton dominated that day. Winnipeg goes back home. They settle down. The one thing about this organization led by Mike O'Shea is, you know, we haven't seen a day like this in a long time, but a team full of veterans that are used to being put in a position to respond, and they certainly do that well. Until next week. Drew Brown, deep ball, open receiver, but a little too far for Dalton Schoen.
Yeah, it's just been one of those days, whether it's number 8 or number 6. Just overthrew him a little bit, a little more height. That could be just opportunities in practice. Yeah, that's one you want back. Schoen had a step for a touchdown there, and he just missed him. It's been one of those nights for the Bombers here.
And you talked about number 8, Collaros, only 1 loss here since becoming a Bomber.
It's ridiculous.
And that was in overtime against the Alouettes last year. An absolutely remarkable run, but it is being ended emphatically in this game tonight by the visiting Lions, who had a shutout last week against Edmonton. Ryan Phillips, what a masterful job, Matty. We talked to him before the game about this, and enjoying it, enjoying what they've been doing so far. And 1 touchdown allowed in 38 drives. Remarkable.
That's crazy. In those last 8 here in Winnipeg, I believe, but if not more. But yeah, that's impressive what he's done in a short period of time. Rick Campbell, as a head coach, has got some younger coaches coming in, and John Bowman, Travis Brown, and certainly DC Ryan Phillips, and they got their boys on that side of the ball and offensively rolling. Jordan McSimic, offensive coordinator, that man. Vernon Adams, there's Jordan. To a man, the players say, hey, Jordan's cussing a little bit more in the meetings, which means he's taking a little more ownership and being a little more vocal. Not sure if that's the thing we want to portray, but he's comfortable, and it shows. It shows like everybody's locked in. First 3 weeks of the season, BC finds himself on top of the West.
After the Keenan LaFrance carry, so he's getting some touches. It's 3rd and 3, and Flintoff is back. Academic now under a minute. Low driving punt, and the catch there by Janarian Grant.
Hey, Rod, and you got to remember, Rod, that BC's doing this without Dominic Rhymes and Keon Hatch, or a couple
2 of their best receivers.
Right. And VA spread it around like a wily veteran out there. Some throws that were just incredible. There's a look at Dom. I think that's Lucky's hat from a couple years back. But, you know, just in Keon, he's getting close, and he's a beast. You know, so interesting things happening in the West.
Well, think of this. No West Division team has come into Winnipeg and won since Saskatchewan in 2018. The last time the BC Lions won here at IG Field, October 28th, 2017. Going on 6 years.
Yeah, so like I said, the cool ones taste a little bit better after getting that off the board. Zach, he'll go back to work. I mean, this ain't week 3.
Exactly.
You know, no big deal.
So early, and a team that's used to rebounding.
Nobody likes losing.
Yeah, they're not used to having to rebound after a home loss. We've already been through that. But a team that knows how to deal with adversity, and they'll sit back and review this one, I am sure, to see especially BC's defense and the number that they did. And there's a number for you, 3.
about to go to 3-0.
Hey, shout out to God.
BA, man.
Shout out to God, man. Happy birthday, Cash. 9th birthday. I love you, boy.
There you go, God first. Family and friends, second and third.
Traded over at the end of August by Montreal after Nathan Rourke got hurt. Played well, as you pointed out, until Rourke got back. And the job is his, and he is really running with it. Johnny Augustine, the ball carrier. The BC Lions said this wasn't about making a statement, but they made a statement anyway, especially on their defense that held Mike O'Shea's team to a mere 6 points. Utter dominance, and we got a new team at the top of the CFL West. The 3-0 BC Lions. The Bombers, they fall to 2-1 as week 3 is just getting started. Tomorrow, back in the East for the Alouettes and the Hamilton Tiger Cats home opener. Vernon Adams, productive night. That defense, even more so. Thanks for watching Thursday Night Football. SportsCenter is next on TSN.